Let's get on to what's going to happen in Group 1 now. Donegal against Mayo. Team news with Ger Canning.
Thank you, Joanne. One change for Donegal. Caolan McColgan is in for Dara O'Bweel. The Ulster champions delighted, however, to welcome back Sean Patton in goal. Donegal conceded 3 championship goals in his absence. Cornerback Finbar Rd.3 has continued to blossom in his debut season. The teenager managed his first championship goal in his last match, and that was against Cavan. Wingback Ryan McHugh is playing against Mayo for the 4th time in the championship. In his debut season 12 years ago, he was listed at centre-half forward. Listed in midfield today for the Tyrconnell men are Hugh McFadden of Killybegs and Michael Langan from St Michael's Dunfanaghy. Prompting from half forward today will be Kieran Thompson of Glenties. Now in his 10th championship season, he's managed 14 points in this year's championship campaign. While up top, the returned Michael Murphy has only 1 championship win against Mayo. Mind you, it was the All-Ireland final of 12 years ago. 26 points scored by Michael Murphy already this year. Mayo make 2 changes. Bob Toohey is in, and so too is Donegal McHugh. Colm Reap from Knockmore once again will be their goalkeeper. He's been their number 1 now in the past 3 years. Fullback Rory Brickenden was among the Mayo scorers during their win over Tyrone. He could be the one to pick up Michael Murphy today. Mind you, it might also possibly be Darren McHugh. Mayo were given an enormous boost, of course, with the return to full fitness of Castlebar's Paddy Durkin. The former All-Star damaged his cruciate during last year's championship campaign. Given the task of dominating in midfield today are Bob Toohey of Castlebar Mitchells and the more experienced Matty Ruan of Brafey. At half forward and wearing number 11 today will be Jack Carney. He was the scorer of a goal and 3 when these teams last met, and that was in this year's National League. And facing Donegal opposition in the championship for the 5th time today is Aidan O'Shea, his 97th indeed championship game, looking for his 4th win against familiar opposition.
And here is this crazy table. 4 teams, all on 2 points. What we know is a winner will definitely progress. A loser, though, is likely also to go through in 3rd place. So remember, it is likely that every single score will count this afternoon. Tomas, there aren't a huge number of people giving Mayo much of a chance in this one. What do they have to do if they are to win?
I think they have to do a good few things, Joanne, but it all starts with the last match here, midfield. This is the Galway game, a game that they could have won. I think all league, all throughout the season, I think with Colm Reap, they've been struggling. Their plan is to drive it out the middle. Here you have Kane Darcy winning it. Teams have got so good at counteracting at pace and catching teams out. They were bait. The following day they went out against Cavan, exactly similar situation. Cavan win a ball around the middle of the park. They haven't varied it too much since. Then they flip it around, and here's the danger again of Cavan actually turning them over, and defensively Mayo all over the place. They went up when everybody were so down on Mayo, and this is the beauty of Mayo. They came back, absolutely dominated midfield against Tyrone, yet you expect, and nobody's sure here, Donegal, are they going to show up? They have to show up. This is the weekend they have to actually show up. How they're going to get on in midfield. Sean Patton is key to Donegal, but also the big men that Donegal have around the middle of the park. It's a massive day. But as well as that, Joanne, we're talking about kickouts here. How they do defensively, how do they do offensively. That's what doesn't stack up against, to me, for Mayo to win this. If Donegal show up, I see Mayo struggling, not on their last outing, but on their season so far, on getting a grip hold of this game.
Cora?
Yeah, and I think if you just look at the changes that Stephen Rd.3 has put in, Bob Toohey coming in, Donegal McHugh coming in, and then Conan Dawson, who obviously starts the last day. Mayo have gone for legs around the middle. You know, the likes of Bob Toohey, Donegal McHugh and Dawson, they're light lads. They're not as, the powerful as kind of the Dylan Thorntons or the Jordan Flynn. So they're obviously trying to go to midfield to match them with the less of them. I'm not too sure if they'll match them aerially.
I find Jordan Flynn a strange one. I think he's made. I don't know, is it he's fallen out of favour with the Mayo selectors or what it is, but he's a fella you'd love to have around the middle 8. I'm not sure.
What about Donegal, Conor? Because as Tomas has suggested there, they probably haven't performed except in patches this year. And we'll talk about the fact that Ryan O'Donoghue is so heavily relied upon with Mayo. Michael Murphy, since he came back, so much reliance.
Listen, I don't think we can say they've underperformed. Like they won a very difficult Ulster Championship, from the preliminary round. So I think they need to take credit for that. They haven't been brilliant in the group series to date. But they haven't needed to be. But I think Tomas alluded to today is the day they really need to step up. Mike, this man here on our screen has been absolutely exceptional since he came back in. You could argue that maybe Donegal have become a wee bit too reliant on him at times in games. It looks like a lot of what they're doing is going through him, but when you have somebody like that there, you're going to use him. But I would also say having Sean Patton back in goals today is absolutely huge. They haven't had him this last two games, and that did cost them in spells in the last two games. So to have him and his expertise and his kickouts back, I think is huge.
But Tomas, is it not an issue that they do have this reliance on them? Particularly, we saw in the last game, when every kick out, they were looking for him. Now, it wasn't Patton. We know it wasn't Patton.
Yeah, I think there's a few things there, Joanne. I think small Oisin Gallen, who was outstanding during the league, he's dropped off the pace a little bit. I mean, we spoke at the start, it's the moving weekend. This and next weekend is absolutely key. I'd be very, very surprised, and I think Conor made a good point. They're after winning Ulster. It's very difficult to put performance after performance each week. I think this is a key performance for Donegal. I think they'll show up today. I think they have a bench that can make an impact. I'm after watching the Mayo warm up here. It was really intense. The match they played here, there was serious belts going in. That's Mayo's plan of a lot of times. They just bring chaos and create chances. Ultimately, it'll come down to if Mayo can actually take those opportunities today. But I'd be backing Donegal here today.
Yeah, I just think with Mayo, I think they really need to start well. I think if Mayo don't start well, they're going to be in trouble. I think we have to get a grip hold around the middle third. I'm worried about what's probably there, but we have to get a foothold. If we can't get a foothold around the middle third and get ball inside into the likes of Ryan O'Donoghue and Aidan, we're going to struggle. And I do think that our bench impact isn't as strong as Donegal, so I do think Mayo have to start this game well.
And it's not like it isn't a day for upsets, because we've already had Wicklow knocking Westmeath out of the Tailteann Cup. So, stranger things have happened. Agus Mós me lift, I'll talk to fall Oscar Rish led there, Canada Agus Garmach Tonacha, Serview RT player Agus Aaron RT News Channel, but right here in Dr. Hyde Park for us. Commentary on Donegal against Mayo. Eamon Fitzmaurice is with Ger.
Thank you, Joanne, again. And, it's 6 years since these counties last met in the Championship. It was then a Super 8 game, or the All-Ireland quarter-finals, if you like, group stage. And Mayo won it by 4 points. A game in which Michael Murphy and Killian O'Connor both scored a goal and 4 for their teams. Well, Michael Murphy is in there. Killian O'Connor not available this year. And this is a venue which is one which Mayo regard as a pretty lucky venue for them. And just before the action gets underway here, there's going to be a moment's silence for 2 people from Donegal who passed away sadly recently. Johnny McCafferty is a former founding member and current president of the Termon GAA club in Donegal. And also passing away recently was Mary Ita Boyle, and Mary Ita Boyle was from the Nev Connell Club. Yesh Love Day, Gorev Ananamthaka Ursel. A minute's silence there for the late Johnny McCafferty and Mary Ita Boyle. The national anthem is now going to be sung for us by Sarah Keane, and Sarah comes from Elphin.
Say
So on a lovely fresh afternoon here in Roscommon town, Dr. Hyde Park. Eamon Fitzmaurice alongside me here. We've seen some great football this weekend already, Eamon. Let's hope for more.
Absolutely, Jared. There's a seriously intense rivalry between these groups of players, and expecting a right physical battle here today. There's a strong enough breeze down into the graveyard end, Jared. You'd expect 2 pointers to be a factor. Mayo have only 3 so far in the championship. Donegal have 14. Could be a factor as the game goes on.
Referee today is Paul Falloon from the Drumgath Club in Down. On the sidelines supporting him, Derek O'Mahony of Tipperary, Christopher Ryan of Galway. All set to go. Middle of the park. Hugh McFadden on the right hand side. Aidan O'Shea ready for the throw in, and Aidan O'Shea goes up there, doesn't quite get it, and it comes down into Donegal possession, and they're able to mount their first attack here with Kieran Thompson, helped out here by Ryan McHugh, playing into the goal away on our left hand side here. There is a stiff enough breeze, by the way, blowing across the field at this stage, pretty much into their faces as they attack. And it's Padder Mogan who's moving forward smartly outside the 20 and up and over the crossbar to get a wonderful opening point here and send Donegal on their way.
Yeah, great start. The way Mayo had set up, they kind of set up defensively to guard against losing the throw-in, and because of that there was a bit of looseness around. Good score, Mogan.
Columbree, very good kick out down as far as Matty Ruan, carried on now by Paddy Durkin. What an impact he made 2 weeks ago in Omagh against Tyrone. David McBride coming up in support, then laid off here as far as McHale, and Darren McHale levels the match with his first touch. What an opening to the game.
It's all rapid stuff, Ger. Everything's been moved on straight away. There's no solos. The ball is travelling. Very hard to defend against. Good score, good response from Mayo.
Well, Darren McHale from Knockmore was very, very pleased with that. Got a crucial goal in Healy Park, of course, in that last game, just before half-time. Sean Patton with his first kick out. It'll be interesting to see his state of fitness. Been out for the last 2 matches, and they've missed him. That kick out hasn't worked in their favour. Aidan O'Shea for Mayo, launching the next attack. Ready to take it back here is Jack Carney. Had a very successful spell for Mayo against Donegal in the National League recently. Onto it again comes Matty Ruan, his second touch. Spills away loose here, but able to be gathered up by Darren McHale. No pressure on him, outside the arc still. Jack Carney switched across here to the youngster, Conal Dawson. Back once again to Carney. Dawson available. So Mayo now building around, patiently doing so. Donegal getting all the necessary players back that they're allowed to get. Forward now with Paddy Durkin here. Back via Ryan O'Donoghue, happy to just get a first touch. It reaches the number 17, Bob Toohey. Omitted originally when the team was announced in midweek, but starting, did very, very well, I thought, in Omagh in their last match. So back with Ruan again, looking to try and give Mayo the lead for the first time. Held the ball now for over 60 seconds. Jack Carney waiting. Back as far as Toohey again it comes. Switched around, almost lost here, and that is Dawson having to toe poke it backwards to make sure it stays securely in Mayo possession. Aidan O'Shea losing his footing. Challenged there by Hugh McFadden, and Donegal have turned it over. And all of that patience from Mayo came for nothing. And away in the end goes Shane O'Donnell of Donegal. Switched quickly by Michael Murphy. Back to Padder Mogan. He's already scored once. And that's another one for Donegal. And it's another one scored by the number 4, Padder Mogan.
Donegal at their best, Jared. The turnover here in front of them to break from there to Will Mogan took the shot. I kept the 9 o'clock. It was 12 seconds. That's where they're so dangerous. Goal chance. Mogan looked like he was happy to chip it over. Maybe he should have opted to keep it lower.
Absolutely brilliant counter-offensive that time. Long, long kick out all the way down. Donegal hands touch it down, but only to Bob Toohey. Slipping. Challenged immediately by Kieran Thompson. Picked up in the end by Donegal again. And away by Michael Langan and out to Michael Murphy. And Murphy switches it across quickly here to Shane O'Donnell. It was part of that last attack. Murphy was involved as well. Feeds it forward here. An opportunity to come in, to have a go. And there's Colin McColgan. Introduced before the start of the match in place of Darragh O'Boyle. He's made it another scoring opportunity here, which is nicely availed of. 3 points to 1, Donegal lead.
Yeah, another fantastic counter-attack score we saw as well. Paul Falloon, the challenge in Bob Toohey, the way Paul referees the game, he tends to let it go, and there will be that physicality, led to the turnover, counter and score.
Donegal allowed Mayo to take that short kick out there from Cohen. Down it goes to Jack Carney once again. Switching it across here, Ryan O'Donoghue. Much will be expected from him. That was a dangerous one. O'Shea was coming in on top of the goalkeeper. Aidan O'Shea questioning whether or not the keeper got a final touch to it or not. It's a wide anyway by Mayo. And a brilliant start made here by Donegal. This was the challenge here on the goalkeeper. Probably a foul anyway.
Yeah, there could even be a bit of a bump in the back, but interestingly, Hugh McFadden has followed Aidan O'Shea inside at times as well, Ger, so we'll see as the game goes on if that's a permanent marking arrangement.
Langan gives it there to Owen Bowen Gallagher, and the Killybegs man gets motoring. Switched in here to Thompson, able to slow it down. Man with a great passing range, man who can also score very freely from outside the 40-metre arc, as he's done many times. Michael Murphy playing in his 83rd championship match today, and here's Mogan, has already got 2 scores in the game. Not bad. We haven't played 6 minutes yet. Oisin Gallen looking for a really good performance here today. Back from Conor O'Donnell as far as Ryan McHugh. Switch back to Finbar Roarty, and they move it around now quickly, looking to try and cut inside if they can. Conor O'Donnell back out as far as Ryan McHugh again. Thinking about it maybe on his right, switching it instead as far as Gallen. Very stylish mover, pursued the whole time by Jack Coyne. And here's Roarty. Back once again towards Conor O'Donnell, finding the target once more. Oh, no, he hasn't. He's put it wide. They were cheering. First wide of the match by a Donegal player. Stays 3-1.
Yeah, he's comfortable in his left side, Jared. He took it on the right. Tricky win to be kicking into down at that end, but great example of Donegal, the way that they like to wrap around the man in possession the whole time rather than taking it into contact. Gradually worked it into the shooting zone, but pulled it wide.
Huge long kick out down towards Aidan O'Shea this time. Look at the touch it down to a colleague, but that has been well sussed out by Donegal, and they surrounded him well, and now they're able to collect and move it forward themselves. Kieran Thompson.
It's Keelan McColgan that's gone back on Aidan O'Shea now, Ger, and whether they're going to be rotating, but is that some kind of a tactic that he's going to be constantly running up the field? The Donegal defence will probably rotate at different times.
Thompson switching it around, looking to see where the many targets that they have are. It's right through the centre here. Shane O'Donnell again, great engine on as far as Gallen, checking, bringing it back once again towards Thompson, down with that left boot, and the wind blows it away, and that's their second wide of the match. Kieran Thompson's 10th year playing championship football for Donegal. Stays 3-1. Michael Murphy operating in the middle of the field, by the way, where he's been marked by David McBrien. We're wondering just who might pick up the great man from Glenswilly. Jack Carney angling this one in here. 2-man inside forward line waiting for it. Lots and lots of Donegal bodies back there, able to collect. Thompson once again, almost at his leisure, always seems to have plenty of maybe too much time that time. And in came Matthew Rowan, and then down went Ryan O'Donoghue under a hefty knock. Padder Mogan on the ground there.
Ryan O'Donoghue is looking for a trip. Great turnover in the first place, great pressure from Matthew Rowan.
And the referee having words here immediately with Enda Hessian, and that is a black, rather it's Padder Mogan who's got the card here.
Yeah, I'm not convinced it was deliberate, Ger. He did slightly raise his legs in the ground in terms of stopping Ryan O'Donoghue's progress. Maybe he was aware that they could have been in goal trouble, but
so he's out for 10 minutes and Donegal down to 14. Keep an eye on the clock, 8.5 minutes into the match. Ryan O'Donoghue ready to take this. It's been some 7 minutes since they got their last score, and that'll do very nicely. 3 points to 2 now. Well, that was in a position where Donegal looked to have the whole situation under control, and it was Kieran Thompson taking the ball out before the challenge came in from Matthew Ruan. And the ball pretty much fell asunder.
Great tackle from Matthew Ruan, and that's Mayo at their best, when they're pressing up and going after the game like that. They're hard to deal with. Good tackle, and as you said, it led to both a point and the black card incident.
Sean Patton ready to take this, playing today in his 40th championship match. They look so much more secure when he's back there at number 1. The sub-goalie today, by the way, is Danny Rogers. Big, huge kick out, collected by Mayo. David McBrien switched inside, back to Enda Hessian. Jack Carney's been on the ball quite a while in the early minutes of this match. Aidan O'Shea controlling. Move back once again towards Stephen Cohen. Looking to try and get an opportunity for a levelling score here. Patiently built up. Once again, it's Conal Dawson, just his 3rd championship match. Switched as far as O'Donoghue. And as they rotate, the Donegal players also move in unison across the edge of the arc. Back to Paddy Durkin. Durkin again. Then quickly inside, nicely in as far as McHale. And that's nicely over, and the teams are level. Level for the 2nd time. Scored by Darren McHale.
Yeah, Mayo, the fact that Donegal are defending with a player less now, their zonal defence will be able to be pulled apart by Mayo if they're accurate like they were there. They're under pressure on their own kick-out. A lot of physicality around the field as well, Gerard. So, crowd getting involved, it's great to see.
About 20,000 people are here in Dr. Hyde Park. And that's not the greatest of kick-outs, and it's straight to Carney. Back in as far as Aidan O'Shea. O'Shea trying to get away from the challenges. The referee had him on an advantage. It's got to be hauled back, and it'll be an opportunity for Mayo to take the lead here. Aidan O'Shea having some words with an immediate opponent.
Yeah, he was kind of holding on to Keelan McColgan's hand there, but if you put the hand in and leave it, you're going to be in trouble. I think Sean Patton almost miskicked that kick out, Jar. I think he might have been trying to hit Michael Murphy, who'd made a run into space. He seemed to kind of slightly miskick it.
They've only won one of their 4 kickouts so far. Donegal, as Ryan O'Donoghue gets his 2nd point of the match. Both of them from frees. Mayo lead 4-3, early stages.
Mayo have bunched in now at the back, or Donegal, sorry, have bunched in at the back to give Patton maybe something different to look at.
Stephen Rochford, of course, standing in for Kevin McStay as manager. He had been the Donegal coach for 3 years under the management of the time of Declan Bonner. Ryan McHugh ready to move it out of the Donegal half of the field. Supported here by Kellen McColgan. Trying to go by Aidan O'Shea. O'Shea trying to keep up with him. Gets the hand in, catches him, brings him down. Now the referee going across to Aidan O'Shea. Offence has been noted. No card.
Imagine that's part of the reason Keelan McColgan is on Aidan O'Shea, as I mentioned already, Ger, that when they win ball, that he's to go and drag Aidan O'Shea after him. He drew the foul there.
Well, the decision anyway is going to be a free kick, which Kieran Thompson will take.
He's a big boot, Ger, but he's kicking right into the teeth of a tough breeze there, so this will be a good test of his kicking skills.
After a very bright opening by Donegal score-wise, they've got 8 minutes now without a score. So Thompson into the win that Eamon Fitzmaurice is talking about. Not going to be easy for him. Fair distance out as well. Going to drop into the goalkeeper's hands. Taken away by Colm Reap. And Mayo come motoring out of defence quickly. Paddy Durkin. Switched outside here as far as Bob Toohey. Down along the line it goes to O'Donoghue, and Toohey gallops after it quickly. Tries to go past Finbar Roarty. Holds on for dear life under a lot of pressure. Holds on too long as well. The referee decides free kick going Donegal's way. Kicked in as far as Michael Langan. About to be challenged there by David McBrien, and ball's turned over, and Mayo have it back once again. A lapse by Donegal into Matthew Ruan, and then fisted forward. Ruan kept motoring. Challenge late, goalkeeper comes out. Some nerves very much in evidence in this match in the opening minutes. That's turned over again. That's Kieran Thompson swung around. Twice he's lost it back there. Man who's normally so cool. And in the end, it's Caelan McColgan who gets it out, helped by Kieran Moore.
Yeah, there's great contact from both sides, Ger, leading to turnovers, leading to excitement. Crowd hugely involved in the game and cheering every move.
Not a dull moment so far, that's for sure. Moved forward here now with a lot of purpose by Finbar Rorty, the 19-year-old, ready to turn inside, giving it off here as far as Shane O'Donnell, and O'Donnell's kick has gone to the left, and that's the third one that they've missed at this stage.
Yeah, there's characteristics of the game that are just so unlike Donegal. The inaccuracy, the three wides, the breeze is a factor definitely in that, and Mayo will have to contend with in the second half, but the sloppiness in their own third as well, and getting turned over with careless skill executions, just very unlike them.
Reap once again down through there, but it's collected well by Kieran Thompson this time. Look to try and play the ball forward, but there's nobody to aim at up in a left corner forward position, as it were. Rorty instead. Coming forward, Michael Murphy ready to take it from him, giving the side so much great leadership and direction. Owen Vaughan Gallagher moving it ahead. Challenge there by Darren McHale, who's been doing well, scoring at the other end. Once again, it is Finbar Rorty. Conor O'Donnell, the Carndonna player, into Owen Vaughan Gallagher. Change of direction. Ryan McHugh looking to see just what's on. Michael Langan up there supporting. Out comes Oisin Gallen, back in the starting 15, happy to be there. Paddy McBrearty, by the way, among the Donegal substitutes this afternoon.
Good for Mayo here, Ger. They're just staying pressed on every player, making it awkward for Donegal. They're getting the wraparounds, but they're not able to breach the Mayo defence. There's great feet, great defending from all the Mayo lads to make sure that they're being kept outside.
Again, the build-up is deliberate, working well so far. Rorty does really well, given his first chance by Jim McGuinness back at the beginning of the National League this year. McGuinness has done that in the past a few times, bring young teenagers who felt they were good, he put them in, and this man's good. It's Owen Vaughan Gallagher. Gallagher still, Gallagher! Oh, poofed it wide at the end of all of that. He did so much well.
That's the risk with defending man-to-man, Ger, that if someone stepped and someone drives through. But to be fair to Mayo, they kept pressure on it the whole way. Everything was under pressure. Combination of Donegal McHugh and Rory Brickenden make sure the shot from Owen Vaughan was under pressure at the end.
He was looking for his third ever championship goal. They battle for it in the middle of the field here, trying to win possession. There's Shane O'Donnell ready to pick himself off the ground. He was lying on the ball, the referee has told him, giving the free kick to Jack Coyne and to Mayo. Aidan O'Shea flicking it outside, out to Jack Carney, and the Kilmina man moving it down there. Race for possession here, won by Thompson, keeping it away from the opposing number 11. Swiftly away through Caelan McColgan, and that is Langan carrying it forward here. Elegantly done. And this time the hand reached in, and Bob Toohey caught him. Referee allowing them to keep going, and Michael Murphy is doing exactly that, waiting for the support player to arrive on his shoulder. Once again, it is Finbar Rorty. Dished outside here. McColgan, change of direction. Holding on to it. Again, Michael Murphy says, give it to me, and Murphy then begins the next Donegal attack. 4-3 down. 14 minutes since Donegal got a score in this match, which is quite alarming because you consider the very bright start they made to the game. Gallen trying to do something about that stat, turning it back here. Shane O'Donnell giving it to Conor O'Donnell, his namesake. Murphy again, not playing where the number 14 normally plays, but back in a very deep position, influencing the match as best he can. O'Donnell going with him here, following him the whole time, David McBrien. And then it's McHugh here, just holding on, waiting for support, and it comes from Owen Ball-Gallagher, who had that goal chance a little while back. Very much his own doing, but the completion leaving something to be desired. Kieran Moore, hounded there by Enda Hessian, who did a great marking job in the last match against Tyrone, marking Darren McCurry that night.
It's
Kieran
Moore.
Moore.
They're hounding them everywhere. They're in their face. There's nothing. They're not allowed getting settled on the ball. They've stepped here now and they've an opportunity.
Conor O'Donnell trying to accept that opportunity. McHugh moving it forward. Then it's Gallen, the Ballybuffet man, trying to get it on his right, looking to get a scoring opportunity. He's got one. And he can't make it, however. Just didn't quite carry.
Yeah, huge credit to Mayo again, Ger. They're just putting pressure on everything. Definitely the breeze means that the shooting zone is slightly closer to the goals, and Donegal are learning that. Shane O'Donnell turned down a shot earlier on because of it, but we'll see as they go on in the half that they'll figure it out more. But huge credit to Mayo for making it as awkward as they are for Donegal all over the pitch.
And that was twice that Donegal had dropped the ball short into Colm Reef's hands. From that, here they go with Matthew Ruan. Ahead of him, Owen Ball-Gallagher, forcing him backwards. Back there to collect, Ryan O'Donoghue. Very much the scoring outlet for Mayo in recent seasons. Bob Toohey. Here's Darren McHale, a couple of points already scored here for Mayo. Jack Carney. In comes Matthew Ruan. Fancying one from outside. And taken down well by Sean Patton. Wasn't going to give up on that one. Got up strongly, collected it neatly out to Finbar Rorty. And Donegal able to build again from a deep position. Conor O'Donnell now. Well, it was an opportunity where Mayo fancied a go for a two-pointer. Matthew Ruan was a good bit outside the 40-metre arc when he kicked that one, but under-hit it. An accidental collision, the referee has decided over there. Caelan McColgan. This is what happened here a moment ago. Up he went and down came Sean Patton. No hint of an injury there. Great. But very much one there. But the referee said that was an accidental clash.
Yeah, Padder
Mogan.
Yeah, he's been waiting for an age to get back on, Ger, but the ball hadn't gone dead, so he definitely did more than the 10 minutes. I'd say he probably did 12, maybe even 13 minutes by the time he got back on.
Well, they're back to 15 against 15, and there's the latest score with Tyrone comfortably ahead against Cavan, and that match is up in Enniskillen in Brewster Park in the same group. This one, Group 1. Each one of the teams, remember, starting out today was on 2 points. So these two teams who are watching here today could either be top of the table or they could even be bottom of the table by the time the matches are finished. Fascinating afternoon's football.
Yeah, Padder Mogan back on, as we said, and in that black card period it was 3-0 to Mayo. Once
again it is Donegal and Finbar Rorty. And he got a goal against Cavan in the last match and started his championship campaign with a couple of points in the first 2 games in the Ulster Championship. Shane O'Donnell working so hard, making things happen. Kieran Moore back once again towards O'Donnell. Switching it inside. Oh, and that's right on the edge of the arc. That's Rory Brickenden. And the referee this time will speak with Rory Brickenden, the Westport player.
Yeah,
clock is off.
Opportunity for Michael Murphy. High tackle, he'll give him a yellow card. We haven't had a chance to draw our breaths yet, Ger, in terms of the way the two teams are setting up. In general, the 3 up for Donegal. Michael Murphy is playing there, drifting out at times. Oisin Gallen and Conor O'Donnell. McHugh is on Michael Murphy. Jack Hyde is on Gallen. And O'Donnell has been marked by either McBreen or Hessian. At the other side then, Ryan O'Donoghue, Aidan O'Shea and Carney are playing up. McCall is on Ryan O'Donoghue. McColgan is on Aidan O'Shea, and Hugh McFadden is picking up Jack Carney for the most part.
So as things stand, Mayo would top the group. If it stayed like that, they would have next weekend off. And we're about to see Jordan Flynn introduced. And the player who's going to make way is Bob Toohey. Well, that's after 22, nearly 23 minutes. What does that tell us, Eamon?
I'm not sure Tomas got his wish anyway, he was looking for Jordan Flynn at the start of the game, so Bob Toohey might have a knock, because I can't say that he did anything wrong there in the course of that 22 odd minutes.
Bit early to be removing him anyway from the fray, but Jordan Flynn will add considerably, as he always does, to Mayo's attack. So Michael Murphy and Donegal have not scored now for 18 minutes of this game, after a very bright start where they led 3-1. But now ready to try and level it up for the third time. Right on the edge of the 40 metres, so he's got to go for two. 5 two-point scores already in championship football for Michael Murphy, and for Donegal. Catches it nicely, and it's another one for him. First orange flag of the day. And wouldn't you know it, Michael Murphy puts Donegal in front 5-4.
Yeah, great kick. You can't underestimate how tricky it is for a right footer into that side, and Donegal warmed up into the other end beforehand, so he wouldn't have had any kicks into that goals. Good score, Michael Murphy.
Colm Reap kicking it away down there. Hugh McFadden tussling with Matthew Ruane. One back by Donegal. Langan getting his hands to it, switching it across to Ryan McHugh, one of the Kilcar players in this match day 26 for Donegal today. Michael Murphy now, he just scored his first points of the game, turning it back towards Ryan McHugh, championship player now since 2013. Thompson. Here's Padder Mogan, got the first couple of points for Donegal in this game. Conor O'Donnell trying to throw the opponent. Once again it is Shane O'Donnell. Busy as ever. Turned back towards Finbar Rorty. Donegal trying to pick their moment to find the right spot, but they're being hounded by Mayo time and again, making life difficult for them. Conor O'Donnell, however, cuts inside. That's good. Drew the foul that time. Really good work, and there was nothing Enda Hushen could do about it legitimately.
Yeah, good drive from Conor O'Donnell. He was reaching in over the top. Paul Falloon is saying that there, that his hand was going in over the shoulder. Good from Conor O'Donnell, because a lot of the Donegal attack, as we said earlier, they're supporting each other with loops outside, but they're not trying to take the step in the man and create the overlaps. Did it there to effect, and you'd fancy Thompson from this range now to kick this.
Just outside the 20-metre line. That's an indication of his angle. Breezes into his face, but he's pretty attuned to it at this stage, 25 minutes into the match. Following through well with the kick, and the umpires go for the white flag, and that's a first of the day for Kieran Thompson. So to go with the two-pointer that Michael Murphy got just a few moments ago, it's Donegal now leading by 2. Bounces in front of Jack Coyne. Challenge came in, but it's Brickenden then who was able to carry it forward here. Thought he might have been the one who might be picking up Michael Murphy, but Murphy's played very, very deep, and they've left it to others. In the Hessian. 14 minutes since Mayo got their last score now, so Jack Carney and company trying to do something about that. Ryan O'Donoghue into the path here of Jordan Flynn. Back once again to Durkin, Paddy Durkin, slipping a beautiful pass inside here. Nice movement, Aidan O'Shea, good turn by O'Shea. O'Shea still back to Ruane. Players calling for it, it goes all the way back once more. Jordan Flynn holding. Stephen Cohen, well, they were being very careful about it there, didn't want to cough up possession. It looked like Aidan O'Shea had to score.
Yeah, he turned down a shot on his right foot, and then the Donegal defence sprinted to get to the point of attack.
There's Ryan O'Donoghue hoofing it up there, but once again it drops short, and Sean Patton is again able to begin the counter-offensive here. Pressure will come on immediately here, because Aidan O'Shea's running around there trying to dispossess, but it's eventually Kellen McColgan elegantly taking it out here, helped by Kieran Thompson. Man who gets on a lot of ball, can be very, very influential. Kieran Moore had such a great year last year. He was very much the find of Donegal's footballing year, I think, last year, Kieran Moore. Shane O'Donnell swiftly into it. They're transferring it and moving it around quickly here, looking to try and get an opportunity for a shot away. It's Mogan that comes forward. It's O'Donnell's there, runs into the challenge. Back out it comes once again and turned over. Great play by Mayo this time, and they get it away very, very quickly downfield. Donegal McHugh was the one starting all of that. In there to challenge again, but it's Murphy who wins it back. Quite a battle here. Michael Langan switched across here as far as Shane O'Donnell again. Ryan McHugh now switching it to his right, out as far as Langan, able to go through the centre, hoping there'll be a gap there. He goes by Ryan O'Donoghue, challenged by O'Donoghue vigorously, can't get to him. Langan puts the shot up. Now where's it going to end? Well, the answer is on the left-hand side, and the missed opportunity. 5 wides by Donegal.
Yeah, Mayo will have to look at trying to kill the ball and attack. They've had 9 turnovers in the last third. Donegal have had 4 scores off it, and they could have got another one there.
Matty Ruan, there's nobody picking up. The number 14, Darren McHale. Marker came in close late that time, Brendan McCole. Ruan across here, McBrien's involved. Here's an opportunity, Hessian's there. Switch back outside, Carney. Switched around to McBrien once again, waiting for somebody to take it on. Matty Ruan turned back to Jordan Flynn. Back to Ruan it comes again, inside the arc this time. McHale outside to Jack Carney. Will he be the one? Challenged there by Kieran Moore, eventually up into the air. This one's gone, and it's gone the right side of the post this time. Good score, scored by Darren Donegal McHugh.
Yeah, great score, Jared. They needed that. They needed to get a score, put the ball dead, get a chance to face Patton's kick out. He's got away a short one, and away go Donegal again. Fancy Mayo to say pushed up on them here. One
between them then. And just about 6 minutes to go to half-time.
Well,
Tyler Mogan.
Well, it mightn't be as high scoring as some of the other games over the weekend, Jared. It's ferociously intense, and there's massive contact all over the pitch. It's great to see.
McColgan challenged there by Jack Carney, trying to limit his effectiveness, staying with him. But it's still McColgan. He's made an awful lot of ground, and very little Carney's been able to do about it. Let's not bring him down there. So it seemed on they go. Thompson, Michael Murphy gets the left boot to it and puts the ball wide after all of that. So they come away empty-handed from this latest Donegal attack, and that's now 6 misses. Well, that looked like a bit of a push there.
Yeah, like we said, the way Paul Falloon referees it, he's going to leave it go. It has to be a big contact. There wasn't a huge pile in it. Very unlike Michael Murphy to miss a chance like that. Generally, anything like that is straight over the bar.
Well, you can see what Jim McGuinness thought of it. Paddy Durkin gets it as far as Jack Coyne. And the Ballyhaunis Flair switches it back out towards Jordan Flynn, making his presence felt. Conal Dawson, seen glimpses of him from time to time. McBrien coming forward repeatedly. This man's been on the ball quite a lot. Jack Carney, Ryan O'Donoghue trying to get to the end of that, stopped by Mogan. That was really well done. Very accomplished play by the number 4 there of Donegal. Back out to the energetic Conor O'Donnell. McHugh feeding it ahead. Onto O'Donnell again. Got 1-4 against Cavan in their last match. 6-5, low scoring. Rorty turned back as far as McHugh. Both these sides hoping to top this Group 1. The end of the action today. Get straight into the quarterfinals of the All-Ireland Series. Shane O'Donnell back out again. Owen Vaughan Gallagher. Rorty moved across. Shane O'Donnell surrounded by Mayo players. Back out towards Finbar Rorty again. Real cat and mouse stuff. They know what the Mayo backs are capable of doing and have been doing from time to time in this game. Finding it difficult to penetrate. O'Donnell again around the edge of the arc. Owen Vaughan Gallagher going on a little solo here. Michael Murphy then taking it from him, bringing it in as far as Gallen. Now there's a gap, and Gallen able to exploit that opening and put it up and over the crossbar for his opening point of the match. Really good play.
Yeah, you can't beat a bit of smarts. Michael Murphy just timed his run to perfection to punch a bit of a hole. Gallen had timed his run perfectly. Very hard to defend. Great score, great finish from him. Good score from Donegal to move 2 ahead now. And as we've mentioned it plenty of times already, that's a stiff breeze. Probably won't bother Mayo in terms of their general play, but in terms of shooting, it is awkward into those goals.
About 3 minutes left in the opening half. Little less. Reap with a long kick out, hoping that they can hold on to it, and they can. And it's David McBrien from Ballaghaderreen losing his footing, tripped, and the referee says bring it back. Free kick to Mayo. Taken quickly. Not a moment to delay here in this match. Full of energy. Hessian placing it inside there in front of Ryan O'Donoghue. Immediately challenged. Trying to get away from McCall's challenge. He gets the kick in. It did really well.
Great score, Jar. He had to make 3 or 4 little jabby runs inside. McCall was with him, very tight. Great strength, got it onto his right foot, favoured right side, and kicked a good score. Brilliant from Ryan O'Donoghue.
One between them. Short kick out, veiled off here by Donegal, out to Ryan McHugh. And off they go. An advantage for Donegal. Aidan O'Shea committed the foul, but as a solo and go, and while he's complaining, Donegal go forward and look menacing. Threatening once again here. Trying to go through. Conor O'Donnell, and that's another one. First of the day for Conor O'Donnell from Carndonna, and now it's 8 points to 6.
Yeah, excellent in the first place from Ryan McHugh to take the quick solo and go, and he managed to punch a hole. So you mentioned Jerry O'Shea was arguing with the ref when he'd been probably better off tracking McHugh in that particular instance.
Ball comes out here as far as Jack Coyne, firmly re-establishing himself in the starting 15 in the last number of months. Forward down it goes to David McBrien. Inside to Coyne. Waiting for somebody to come and help. Take it from him. McHale is that person. Turned back to Flynn. Sold a dummy, then kicked well and kicked beautifully, but not with accuracy. And that is their second wide of the game. Stays 8-6.
Yeah, it was a bit of a wild shot, Jar. It was just inside the 2-point arc, so you question whether it was worth taking it on from there.
Nicely placed here from that kick out as far as Finbar Rorty. Langan, considering whether he should go right or go left, decides to hold on and make some progress, and nobody's coming to take it from him from a Mayo point of view, and he just keeps on going. And then he switches it outside here, and it's Rorty, and Rorty puts it over the crossbar. Talk about going through the centre almost unhindered, and Finbar Rorty has got himself another championship score.
Yeah, big score from Rorty. Broke up from it's half-time, Jar. They just missed a 2-pointer to the far end Mayo. It was their 3rd time missing. Rorty scored just as he did last weekend against Cavan.
Well, it's Donegal who made the best possible start to this match with a couple of early points, and now they finished very impressively as well. In between, Mayo had their moments, both sides struggling, I think, to play at their very best, but it is extremely intense here in Roscommon this afternoon. A real battle between two sides that we know can play some really good football. At the break here at half-time, it's Donegal 9 points, it's Mayo 6. We're back with Joanne and her panel right after this.
AIB, proud sponsors of the All-Ireland Senior Football Championship.
Leverage is known if someone had all the money in the world, this is what they'd buy. This is Montana. Cowards rule the world these days.
There is keep the kingdom or there is lose the kingdom.
We don't kill sheep, we kill wolves.
They will come after you with both barrels, Governor.
Look forward to it.
Yellowstone. Stream all 5 seasons now on RTE Player. Give more ice creams a swirl for less with Lidl, with a big refreshing choice of frozen treats. Try ice cream sandwiches, chocolate cones and more for an extra sprinkle of joy any day. Scoop up any two for €5 for a basket full of flavour. Enjoy more for less when you go full Lidl this summer.
The Harvey Norman Big Sale is now on, with even more big deals added on beds, mattresses and bed linen. Get huge savings on our range of stylish bed frames, like the Arnold, now just $5.99. Upgrade your mattress for a better night's sleep with deals on big brand mattresses like the Orthosport, now $649. And get up to 50% off selected pillows and bed linen, like sheet sets from only €20, with up to 36 months interest-free finance terms available. Why wait? But hurry, the Harvey Norman Big Sale ends soon.
Go!
Liam, I'm on the move.
So what's new? How are you?
What? Who's that? It's Liam. Go on. There's your mother. She's not for walking these days. She's got the pyjamas and everything, you know.
And how are you, Dad?
Ah, we're flying it, sure.
but how are you holding up?
Get you.
Dad?
One sec now. What did you say?
I was just saying, how are you?
Yeah, sure you know yourself.
Yeah.
Stay connected with 3, Ireland's best network.
Forget everything you know. A new chapter in electric cars begins today. Introducing Xpeng. 100% electric cars, like the stylish Xpeng G6. Not just innovative, intuitive too. Xpeng. Now available in Ireland.
Mary, Verisure Monitoring Centre. Are you home?
We are away. Why?
We've detected a break-in.
Oh no.
We're intervening by releasing the Zero Vision fog barrier and calling the Gardaí. The intruder has been expelled by the fog.
Make your home a Verisure home and get a free.
Start earning today. PTSB. Altogether more human. SuperValue believe in community. And community includes everyone.
We thought things might be a bit all over the place in Group 3, so tight was it at the start of the day, but Donegal have looked fairly comfortable given the number of misses they have had against Mayo. They're leading the way in Dr. Hyde Park, but only by 3 points at the break, 9 points to 6. And in the second game between Tyrone and Cavan, there's certainly one team well on top, and that is Tyrone. Matty Donnelly getting 4 first half points for them. Now, the bad news for Tyrone is Michael McKernan, who's been so important for them all season. He went off injured, but it was Peter Hart who came on for him, and he scored that 2-pointer, helping them on their way to a half-time lead of 17 points to 8. So if everything stays like this, it's Tyrone goes straight through. Donegal, another big name in those preliminary quarterfinals, and Cavan would also go through. So it is bad news for Mayo for it to stay like that, Cora. And given that they did have that wind in that opening half, does that make it even more frightful ahead of the second? Yeah, you'd be a little bit worried, surely. It's hard to judge the breeze from up here, but it looks like Donegal will have the advantage for the second half. And I just think the most disappointing thing for Mayo in that period of time is they had 10 shots in total, where Donegal have had 16. And Mayo, just in that black card period in particular, while they got a few scores directly after it, were very passive, didn't push up on Donegal, let Donegal, hold possession for long periods of time. So it's disappointing from that half. They're going to have a very big half. We could see with Donegal and their shot selection and how many drop short in the wides that, Mayo are going to find it difficult to get scores in the second half. So they're going to need a big performance. Donegal may have had a lot of misses in that first half, but we could see what they were about from a number of aspects. You saw how ruthless they were in turning Mayo over time and time again, initially particularly at the start.
It's what we've been looking at all year. It's what we've seen right throughout the league. It's what we've seen throughout the Ulster Championship, and here we see it again today. Turnover, double up, treble up, and then it's just legs. It's pace and it's legs going forward. And when Donegal get you on the counter-attack, it's more often than not they make the right decisions up here. You see Michael Murphy getting involved again, and could have been easily been a goal, but Paddy Mogan had got up for that was his second point of the game. Again, Donegal swarm you at the back and they're gone. Pace going forward. And as I said, when Donegal have you here, it only results in one thing, and that's a score. Murphy holding the play up nicely here, and clipped over the bar from McColgan, who was a late addition to the team. So yeah, Donegal will be very happy with their first half. As Cora talked about, they controlled that period of the black card really well, and it's very hard to see a way back for Mayo, I think, at this stage of the game.
But I think, Joanne, a lot of it's down to Donegal's high pressure as well. But it's sloppy Mayo, like that final pass by Ryan O'Donoghue. We turn the ball over, we do so much hard work, and then we turn it over again. So a lot of it's to do with Donegal pressure, but also it's sloppy Mayo as well.
And of course, Mayo were a man up for, well, probably 12 minutes in the end. Any arguments for Paddy Morgan with that black card?
No, I think when you look at it initially, you could make an argument. But I think if you watch his left leg, and especially in the second clip here, for me, and I know the lads might disagree with me, I think Paddy Morgan knows exactly what he's doing here. And you can see it not in this clip, but the next clip here. Just watch his left leg as it's coming down. He raises it on purpose, keeps it up, and I think fair enough call.
Okay, well, Eamon Fitzmaurice didn't agree with you on co-commentary. Are either of you in disagreement?
I think it's very harsh, to be honest with you. I think the black card was for a clear and obvious. I just don't see it, but maybe the more technical eye here, and maybe Thomas was involved in a few more technical infringements like that. Maybe he has a better eye for it.
We would have thought if anybody knows anything about black cards, Conor McManus, it was you. Maybe Sean Kavanagh might know a thing or two of them as well. We have the second half here to come. The lads are already writing off Mayo's chances. They are only 3 points down at half-time.
Gaelic amateur classes. There was 1,000 clubs within 3 years. All could join the GAA and play the game. It was an idea whose time had come.
Hell for Leather, Monday at 9:35 on RTE1 and RTE Player.
Yeah, broken down in the middle of nowhere.
No, we'll miss the whole party. Yeah, look, there's nothing we can actually do about it, so... Genius here, forgot to put petrol in the car.
Classic Dad.
You're welcome. Tow truck guy said 4 hours. If we're lucky. I know they're going to hate us. Oh no, there's nothing we can do. Oh look, a tractor.
Good food, good mood. From Aldi.
What happens if you drop a car and, say, an umbrella in a vacuum chamber? Without air, everything moves in the same way. With air, design dictates how well you move. Which is why the new Škoda Enyaq moves beautifully wherever you're heading. Discover the new electric Škoda Enyaq.
Škoda.
I always said it wouldn't change me. And it hasn't. Winning the lotto was amazing. But you can never forget who you are. The values you have don't just disappear.
William, do you want anything from the shop?
Yeah, well, it was 7 million.
The National Lottery. It could be you.
I don't remember who we played, but I remember the streets full of fans.
Hands gripped tight. The ice cream van. It felt like the whole county was there. Then suddenly the world stood up. I couldn't see a thing. You picked me up, then flags went up. Electric. I don't remember who we played. I don't recall the score, but I remember that sunny day. Will forevermore.
The GAA Football and Hurling Championships. Experience the unforgettable.
All right, team, we've got less than 4 minutes before she gets her car insurance quotes. Brendan, you're up for the web chat if she wants assistance. I wonder what kind of...
When you're setting up a new nest, starting your own flock, or they just keep on growing. At Very, get the flexibility you need. And pay in 3 with Take 3. 3 payments over 3 months and pay no interest. Plus, it's always available when you need it, including on our app. Shop the online store for fashion, home and more. Very. Ways to pay that work your way.
AIB. Proud sponsors of the All-Ireland Senior Football Championship.
We have a mixed code weekend coming up next week. We're heading already for All-Ireland quarterfinals in the Hurling Championship, and we have a couple of massive ties, this time coming up later on a Saturday evening. Tangent Cup semi-final weekend has been known to produce some of the biggest footballing drama of the summer. In fact, we've had quite a bit of it today in that competition. It once again takes its Sunday afternoon spot at Croke Park. And all of these games are live for you with the hurling quarterfinals from 3:30 on Saturday. A slightly earlier start of 9:15 for that night's highlights show with Damien. And those Tailteann semi-finals are from 1:30 on Sunday. And of course, the Sunday game has its usual 9:30 slot. And we have the second half between Donegal and Mayo to come here. Donegal leading 9 points to 6. Did we see a bit of an evolution of the Donegal attack, certainly in the way they were converting?
Yeah, well, Conor showed when they turned over ball very early on that they got scores from it. But they went 18 minutes then, Joanne, without scoring. They had an amount of misses, wrong shots. This is Owen Baughan Gallagher going through with a goal chance. They rectified that in the last quarter, and it's down. Some of it is down to Mayo's defending. They were one-on-one. It was very hard to break through. Gallen getting through here for it, but it was brilliant defending by Mayo. I think they have a bit of confidence, the fact that they were playing with the wind and it was easier to defend. The amount of strong running from Donegal, they did get to grip seriously with it in the second half of the first half. Conor O'Donnell with a great score here, and we finished with Finbar Rorty. But the reality is they had 13 shots on goal and only got 6. They were creating them, and this is the worry for Mayo in the second half. There was an amount of strong running by them. In the second half, you might see, here you can see the black spots where they missed shots, and then you have the shots that they actually took. But for 18 minutes, they didn't score at all. Now, in the second half, they were playing against a seriously stiff breeze. In the second half, expect them, because Donegal do have that game where they can actually shoot for 2-pointers. But what impressed me most in that first half was their strong running game. And our Mayo will have to do something similar. They'll have to create the shots. But Donegal got to grips with it. Halfway through it, they realised they weren't executing properly. 46% is low execution rate for Donegal. So I'd expect they are in the driving seat. Doesn't mean, Joanne, that they're going to fly through the second half, but if they get enough possession from kickouts, it's very hard to look beyond Donegal.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that, because you would expect the likes of Patrick McBrearty to come in here. We know how good he is from distance. He will get in on the act there from 2-pointers. Langan can do it, Kieran Thompson can do it, Murphy can do it. So I would expect Donegal to make a wee bit better use of the wind than Mayo did in the first half.
But are Mayo one of the few teams who actually almost perform better against the wind at times?
Yeah, well, I suppose Mayo's game has always been a running game, instead of a kicking long game. And, we ran the ball a lot there, even with the wind. So, yeah, we have strong runners from a half-back line. The thing is that if we leave a lot go forward, we can see the danger that Donegal will create, back there. I just thought Donegal's link play, like their quick hands, they're running at speed. At times Mayo struggle to track them. How long can Mayo, last with Donegal while they're doing that? So they're just going to need, I think, again, as I said, a good start they're going to need in the second half. We can't let this get out to 6 or 7 points, especially against the breeze.
But it's not as if Donegal are completely bulletproof. Like, yeah, they miss chances there where normally they don't. But when Mayo actually did have possession, they seemed to cut through them easy enough at times and create chances at times. So if it was a freakish goal or getting back into it, it's hard seeing. But there are areas of Donegal game that they'll be talking about from a defensive point that they'll be trying to tidy up as well.
But I think the most, there's still an over-reliance. Donegal have had 7 scorers there against the breeze. Mayo have had 3. Ryan O'Donoghue, we've had Donegal McHugh. We haven't had too many other players to try and step up and get scores. So,
but that's the way Mayo just operate. I mean, are you not used to that at this stage?
I know, yeah. But if you go into the second half and you're kicking against the breeze and you take Ryan O'Donoghue out of that game, they don't have much options. 2 points hasn't been our 2-pointers haven't been our strength. Now we're kicking into a breeze, so you can't imagine that's not going to be happening.
Mayo always had, when they didn't, they were traditionally always struggling up front at times. They always had a half-back line that were powering them on. Would they have that at the moment? They'll need a big second half.
Probably getting enough out of the likes of Paddy Durkin, who you would have expected to get forward maybe and get on the end of a score too. Aidan O'Shea had a chance maybe to take on a score, didn't turn back out. And they're going to need them extra options and extra options on the scoreboard, because Ryan O'Donoghue isn't going to get through this game on his own here.
And this is like, with the other result going the way it is, they have a half an hour to stay in the championship. That's basically it.
Yeah.
That From a Donegal point of view, isn't it amazing, you mentioned the link play, how Michael Murphy is again at the heart of all of that, or certainly it seems that way. There was a theory, you mentioned Oisín Gallen, about how he hasn't performed quite so well this year. I know Peter Canavan said ahead of the Ulster final he's not sure himself and Michael Murphy necessarily work well together on the same pitch.
Well, I think if you were watching the first half here, I think you could argue that there was one score from Oisín Gallen here. He got it just on the edge of the D, but it was all started by Michael Murphy's move. He just had checked his run, stepped inside and laid it off to Oisín Gallen, and for a lovely score. So I think you might actually see a wee bit more link-up play between them in this half. The option to take a shot from 30-35 yards out will be on a wee bit more, and I think you'll see a wee bit more link-up play between just Michael Murphy and the Donegal forwards in general.
Do Mayo have to be really brave here, Cora?
Oh, I think they have to be. I think they have to just go for this. Tomaso said they've 30 minutes or they're out of championship. You know, when you look at Mayo's year overall in terms of championship, you know, the only teams we've beaten, you know, outside of Tyrone, which was a good win, was Sligo and Leitrim, and both of them games are close. So, yeah, it's a huge 30 minutes for Stephen Rochford and the whole backroom team.
But we always know then what happens when you're brave and you go for it. It leaves you even more exposed at the back at times.
Should I have to, Joanne? There's no choice but to go for it. The only worry I have for them is that Donegal do look sharp. They'll have tightened up there at half-time again. And like you see Rorty and Morgan going from corner back. It's not too many teams that two of their three back are constantly bombing forward. It'll be interesting to see what they do. There's a stiff breeze. Do they change that running game? Do they take more shots? But it all comes down, as so many games at the moment, in primary possession. If Mayo are to have any chance, they'll have to make a huge inroads on that, but I just can't see it happening for them.
I think they just have to throw the shackles off Mayo. Like they're at their best when they're just playing off the cuff, going at teams, and hopefully we see that in the second half.
Yeah, and just a reminder, Tyrone well on top against Cavan at half-time in the other game in this group. So at the moment, unless Mayo turn things around, they're going out of the championship. Back for the second half with Eamon and Ger.
Thanks again, Joanne. So, last chance saloon, I guess, for Mayo. Behind by just 3 points. Referee Paul Falloon ready to restart. Donegal back-to-back Ulster champions in front against a Mayo team that reached the league final and was narrowly beaten by Galway in the Connacht decider. So off we go. Let's see who can make the brightest start. Aidan O'Shea catching this, and then catching him was the immediate opponent. That was Hugh McFadden. No changes made by either side as Matty Ruan goes forward, looks for O'Donoghue, wriggles his way in and out, switches it back outside towards Carney, and then it is Aidan O'Shea here, nicely in, looking to try and set themselves up for a scoring opportunity of the second half. Jack Carney again, inside, takes the return here on the end line, and that's a pretty bright start. They're not giving up, that's for sure. Jack Carney then becomes the fourth scorer for Mayo in this match and brings the deficit down to 2 points.
Yeah, great score, urgent and accurate, Jar. Everything good about it from Mayo perspective.
Stephen Rochford hasn't made any additional changes. He did make one, bringing Jordan Flynn on after about 21 minutes. That's Michael Murphy with a great catch. Well done with that mark. Down it goes to Kieran Thompson. Thompson then and Donegal with that breeze pretty largely behind them, although it's to an extent somewhat diagonal. Over to Kieran Moore once more. Waiting for the players to come from a deep position. Padder Mogan had an interesting first half. He got 2 of the opening points for Donegal. Then he spent 10, nearly 12 minutes on the sin bin with a black card. Here is Oisín Gallen, got a lovely point, lovely turn this time. It's Gallen, and taken off the line. And out to take it is Jordan Flynn, who was back there helping out. A lead off that time for Mayo. This is Darren McHale, pursued there by Rorty. Flynn once again taking it up here, under pressure. Sees a couple of unmarked players in the centre. One of them is Matty Ruan, so they head down that direction. Conal Dawson, nobody at all picking up Paddy Durkin, looking to impose himself a bit more on this match. Into O'Shea, slipping, turning the ball over, lost, and Hugh McFadden gleefully takes it away and gives it down to Shane O'Donnell to do his stuff. And there's nobody out on him immediately. A couple of players trying to pursue him, but it's Shane O'Donnell now. They missed the last opportunity. Here's O'Donnell. Here's a chance. Well saved by the goalkeeper. Colm Reid kept his team pretty firmly in the hunt for honours there. Really good stop. Should have been finished by Shane O'Donnell. Still no goals in this game. Up they come at the other end. And it is Donegal McHugh now. Has spent much of the season as a full-back. Liberated from that today. Referee says keep going. They do keep going, and McColgan won the turnover, and out it comes with Kieran Moore now for Donegal. Sun is out here. Very pleasant evening in Roscommon town. Huge crowd present, enjoying it. At least the Donegal fans are certainly enjoying it. The Mayo fans hoping their side can come up trumps with something special in the next half an hour or thereabouts. They want to stay in the championship. Finbar Rorty, back to McHugh it comes, and then it's Langan. So from 2 attacks at the beginning of the second half, Donegal haven't been able to add to the 9 points that they had amassed at the end of the opening 35 minutes. They go again. Rorty, it's almost turned over, but they managed to hold on to it. Langan, cross to McHugh. Ready to take it from him is Shane O'Donnell, who had that goal chance. Brilliant piece of goalkeeping by Colm Reap to deny him then. It's Thompson, pushed back once again towards O'Donnell. Shane O'Donnell from St. Eunan's. Man who is a teacher by profession. Back it comes to him once again. This is Ryan McHugh. Well, they're patiently building up, looking for somebody in the best possible position. Who will that person be? Conor O'Donnell switched here to Mogan, looking for another one. Has he got it? It comes down off the post. That's 3 attacks now, and it yields absolutely nothing, Eamon.
Yeah, it's amazing, Ger. It's up and down. It's been turned over. It's helter-skelter stuff. Donegal controlled it for a minute or so there, had the shot off the post. Away go Mayo again. This kind of chaos and this kind of up and down the pitch is a game that'll suit Mayo more so than Donegal. Yeah,
they seem to enjoy the old chaos stuff. So Jack Carney carrying it forward towards the opposing 45-metre line. Ready to take it back and give it to Jordan Flynn. Fisting it inside. Here's a chance maybe. A little fumble there by Brickenden. Got 2 points in the last game against Tyrone. Aidan O'Shea feeds it back. Onto it comes Donoghue. Ryan O'Donoghue hounded there by a couple of Donegal players. In went the challenge that time, and the referee says this time it's a free against Donegal and a foul on Jordan Flynn. Free in. Chance to make it a 1-point game.
They work hard for it, Ger. I'd say Ryan O'Donoghue felt he probably deserved the free in the first place. Both Aidan O'Shea and Kieran Thompson arrived at the ball almost at the exact same second, but on balance I think that Mayo had earned the free at that stage, and as you said, brings it back to 1, and great battle.
That's O'Donoghue finally getting a free kick, getting another point, a 4th of the match. 3 of his 4 points have come from frees, and now it is 9 points to 8. That is some save. I think it's a one-handed save. Got the hand down. Yeah, the right hand caught it. Brilliant piece of goalkeeping by Colm Reap.
Outstanding, because Shane O'Donnell had given him the eyes. He went high that way. Colm Reap made himself big. Great save.
Sean Patton going long downfield. Down it goes. Hugh McFadden going in to try and collect it, getting it, winning it, giving to Ryan McHugh. Then on as far as Michael Langan. Switched across to Michael Murphy. Donegal player picking himself off the ground. I think it's Langan. He'll live. Shane O'Donnell playing it back. Back here as far as Finbar Rorty from the Nev Connell club. Another Nev Connell club man here, Kieran Thompson. And then it's Shane O'Donnell. Well, now they're going to consider things here. They've had 4 attacks already here, 3 that yielded nothing, and this is their 4th one now. Looking to try and get the scoreboard moving again in the second half with Oisin Gallen, and then Shane O'Donnell into Murphy, and Murphy comes through like an express train on his right and over the bar. Normal service is resumed. Michael Murphy with his 3rd of the day, and it's another one here for Donegal.
Yeah, you mentioned it, Ger. When they need something, they'll get Murphy on the ball. Now, to be fair to him there, Donegal McHugh was down injured, so he was free and he managed to drive forward and get the score. But when Donegal are in need, they'll always turn to Michael Murphy. More often than not, he'll oblige.
Donegal McHugh, the Castlebar Mitchells player, receiving the attention just now. Stephen Rochford will be very happy with the level of energy being expended by his player, but now sad to lose the services of Donegal McHugh.
I think he was in contact with Michael Murphy earlier in that particular move. Oh no, he went over in the ankle there as he was tracking Michael Murphy. And as I mentioned already, he was on the deck when Murphy drove through the middle and kicked the score.
So on comes David Neary, number 18.
This fella's a serious player, Jern. He can bring some impact to proceedings when he gets on ball. He's direct, he goes at the post and he causes problems.
I thought he was outstanding when he came on for the last 15 minutes against Tyrone when they were flagging slightly, having put in a mighty effort that night in Omagh, and they brought on Jordan Flynn and David Neary, and they really solidified things and made it absolutely certain that Mayo would take the points that evening. Right now, they're two adrift, and they go forward with Jordan Flynn, full of determination. Switched across here to Aidan O'Shea. O'Shea soloing, holding, giving it there to Conal Dawson, and the young man who was under 20 last year kicks a beauty. Well admired by the fans.
Yeah, excellent. He's a very good prospect, this fella, Ger. He's athletic, he works, he can score, he can kick inside. We saw his scoring ability there, great score, and they have the ball again, David Neary.
They're going point for point. That's turned over here, and it's Paddy Durkin. Durkin looking to try and close the gap back, level things up once more. This is David Neary. Inside it goes here. Supported well. Oh, that was Matthew Ruan about to hit the shot, and Michael Murphy got his body in the way. And now it's Peadar Mogan. Helter-skelter stuff, really. Probably a coach's nightmare what we're seeing right now, but from a neutral fan's point of view, it's absolutely thrilling.
Yeah, great block from Mike Murphy. Aidan O'Shea is staying much closer to goals in the second half, Ger. He's fancying taking on Keelan McColgan every time he gets the ball, and different moves are coming off him as a result.
Well, this is McColgan going forward, pursued. Neary after him, gives it off here to Conor O'Donnell, and then taking it up is Michael Langan, and pretty much saying to the others, just calm it down for a little bit. We're in control. We're a point up. Michael Murphy fisting it in there towards Conor O'Donnell, bouncing it in front of Enda Hessian, and there's O'Donnell. Turned back to Thompson. It'll suit a left-footed kicker. Beautifully over. Nicely done. Second of the day for Kieran Thompson on his 49th championship appearance, and that was the first to come from open play, and he has made it a 2-point game once again. 11-10, Donegal leading.
Yeah, well worked. Good defending from Enda Hessian in the first place, but hard to get it when you...
High challenge there on Jack Coyne. Away by Jack Carney. Down here as far as David Neary. Doing well, Neary advancing. Supported here well by Darren McHale. In as far as Aidan O'Shea. O'Shea looking to try and close the gap to one again, and that kick is inch perfect by Conal Dawson. He's not afraid to have a go.
No, it's excellent, Ger, and that stiff breeze, we mentioned it, but it does favour left footers into that side. Conal Dawson's got 2 scores now. I mentioned it already, Aidan O'Shea is very much involved in all of the attacks. McColgan went for a run that time. Aidan O'Shea didn't follow him, which I think is the right tactic from Mayo's perspective. Stay up the field, burn his energy offensively, and if McColgan wants to go out for a run, one of the other lads out around the middle can track him.
The innocence of youth, and Conal Dawson there with 2 points in the second half from open play. Saw the goals in front of him, had a go, didn't overcomplicate it or overthink it. 11-10. 9 minutes into the second half. And that's gathered with an awful lot of difficulty there by Donegal's defender, and Ryan McHugh getting it out. Donegal player still down on the ground, might require some attention. And then it's Kieran Moore moving it out here, about to be challenged there by Jack Carney. Change of direction. Picked up here by Owen Vaughan Gallagher. How they could have done with that goal opportunity that he created for himself in the first half but couldn't finish. Shane O'Donnell had a fine goal opportunity in the second. Still no goals in this game. Sharing 21 points, however. And now it's Conor O'Donnell sending it up there and sending it up between the uprights. And that is a second for Conor O'Donnell.
Excellent, Ger. In fairness to him, every time he's willing to ask the question of Enda Hessian, Finn de Hession pushes him back out. He's willing to pass it, but he's trying to beat his man, trying to open up the scoring chance, and converted it excellently there.
Reeps kick out, attack there by both sets of players. One back by Donegal, and Mogan placing it into the hands of Kieran Moore, who can take it forward stylishly. There's nobody coming to him. There's a gap right through the centre. This is dangerous from a Mayo point of view, and that is Moore planting it up and over the crossbar. First of the day for Kieran Moore. Brilliantly done. A gap there which he exploited to the fullest.
Great score. He's always good for his score game. Got up and got his point.
Oh, that was a risky short kick out as far as Jack Coyne, especially with Oisin Gallen breathing down his neck.
And the previous kick out when Donegal won it, Michael Murphy shifted it away from the break area straight away, Jordan. It allowed Kieran Moore to get away in that break.
Donegal were penalised 50 metres there. The referee brought the ball forward. So from this position here, with three between them, what can the Connacht team do? David Neary. As it stands, Mayo bottom of the table heading out, but they've still got time. Jordan Flynn all the way across here. Jack Carney on his left. It needs to be accurate. It's gone to the left instead. It's a first miss of the second half. It's only their third in all. Oops. That Mayo fan clearly gasping, but it's still 13-10. Patton booting it down into the middle. Michael Murphy is the target, and as always, a very willing recipient.
Rory Brickenden now. There's a breach here. We're hearing from Paul Falloon. Donegal.
There's a breach of the 3-4 rule. Donegal did not have their three forwards inside the Mayo half of the field, so Mayo are able to bring the ball forward, and it'll be Ryan O'Donoghue who will have this opportunity 20 metres out just to make it 13-11. Ready to add to his 5 points, or his 4 points so far. So now 5 for him. 13-11. Still loads of time left in this match. Coming to you live from Dr. Hyde Park in Roscommon on a day when the other match, Tyrone, are doing well in their game against Cavan, so they're okay. But now the pressure really is on Mayo here, because they lost to Cavan a couple of matches back, and that was a game that most people in Mayo felt was a banker for them, but they missed it up badly that night, and they're paying the price right now. Hugh McFadden getting it down here, down to Conor O'Donnell. Moves smartly, always thinking on his feet and making good decisions. Getting it across here to Shane O'Donnell. Real bundle of energy. Constantly on the go. Waiting for a player to come onto his shoulder, and that player is Michael Langan this time. Taken from him by Kieran Thompson, and they are just controlling the tempo of the game right now. Seconds tick on, heading towards the last 20 minutes of the match. Kieran Thompson again now, toying with Mayo. O'Donnell leaving it here for Mogan. Conal Dawson doing his best just to try and make it a little awkward for Peadar Mogan, hoping he'd slip or maybe commit a passing error, but still Donegal securely hold on up to that point there. Langan under trouble, under pressure, and 2-3 players robbed it from him, and it took a while, but Mayo finally got it back. Aidan O'Shea has it, gives it in as far as Jack Carney, 2 between them, back to Carney, straight at the goalkeeper, and the referee is going to bring it back. But that was some chance.
It was. Initially, Donegal did try to foul Aidan O'Shea to stop the move. He allowed it develop. Great chance, and we just kind of flashed it straight at Sean Patton. Maybe the option was to square it. This is what the free is for, Ger. I think that Donegal knew they were wide open and they were trying to stop him there at source.
Fouled by Rorty, but there were support players there for Aidan O'Shea had he passed it. He didn't, and it's 13-11 still. Jordan Flynn out to the wings to David Neary. McHale again. one of those who'd been calling for the ball when that last attack had been developing and carried real prospects. Conal Dawson. Switch back here to Neary. Well, tinkering around the edges, and Donegal so far comfortable enough in defence, working extremely hard as well. But now here's an opportunity, and that's slid beautifully in there by Darren McHale. He guided it delightfully, and now there's only one between them, and suddenly Mayo fans feel this could still be their day.
Yeah, it's excellent, Ger. We're seeing who's coming on here. Sean McGrahan is coming on. Sean Morahan is coming on for Mayo. And the Hessian is departing, and Conor O'Donnell, he looks like he's limping, where Conor O'Donnell was prominent in the Donegal attacks.
So Dara O'Bweel also being introduced at this stage. And Jason McGee, number 26, is also coming on. Players going off, numbers 8 and 15. So that's Hugh McFadden and Oisin Gallen gone from the contest. As you can see, we've got 19 minutes and counting down left. 1 point the margin. Donegal looking to hold on, solidify their position. Mayo absolutely ravenous to get possession, to get opportunities, to get it up the other end of the field, to take the pressure off their defence. But it's Shane O'Donnell coming forward. That's another opportunity, and it's Conor O'Donnell kicking it, and he has put it wide. First wide of the second half. He can't believe it, but he's put it wide. It's 7 wides in all by Donegal, and it stays a 1 point game. Frantic stuff.
Yeah, Mayo have got joy from going short for their kickouts. They've got scores down the far side when they've gone short. The 1-1 that they went long, they lost it and conceded a point.
Out it comes, intended for Cohen, fisted away from him. Happy to take it back, however. Sean Morahan, the one who got that. An under-20 player last year, just like Conal Dawson. Brickenden. Moved forward here now by Jordan Flynn. 6 minutes since Donegal got a score, but they're under pressure right now. And that's kicked forward smartly towards O'Donoghue. Ryan O'Donoghue. Great block on it by Brendan McCole. Not out of the woods just yet. Aidan O'Shea has it. 2-3 Donegal players after him. Back by Durkin. Back in as well to Flynn. Flynn turning, twisting, giving it back here. Matty Ruan switched again. Bit over elaborate. Might work out eventually, but the immediate impact of the earlier thrust has gone, and Donegal are back and composing themselves before Ryan O'Donoghue kicks it in and drops it short, and Sean Patton's able to take and bring it back out again in the company of Owen Vaughan Gallagher.
Frantic stuff, Ger. Donegal deserve massive credit for the way they defended there. They kept sprinting to the tackle to make sure that Mayo couldn't get the shot away, and eventually Ryan O'Donoghue shot from too far out.
Well, under the new rules, not every game is going to have huge scores in them, but this one has got enormous intensity. Such a strong desire on both sets of players to get the victory. Owen Vaughan Gallagher, Michael Langan, switch back towards Shane O'Donnell. Then it's Gallagher again, coming forward here. Michael Murphy. Here's Shane O'Donnell. In along that left-hand side. Turn back once more. McGee was involved that time, Jason McGee. Murphy, switch back out to Langan. Ryan McHugh, trying to bring a bit of calmness to things, and then taking it forward here. Back to Dara O'Bweel, first touch sin, coming back into the Donegal team. That's Jason McGee. There was a suggestion he might have started today. It's O'Bweel again. Mallow got a goal and 4 in the opening match in the Ulster Championship. Michael Murphy shrugs aside the would-be challenge on him there, and it's turned away by Murphy, turned over, and Donegal can take it up the field now and do something about that scoreline, which shows them a point down. McBrien, Aidan O'Shea, in here to Jack Carney, trying to turn inside, slipping. In it goes. McBrien, off the post and in! David McBrien! 55 minutes into the match.
Incredible
Mayo
stuff.
lead by 2. David McBride, who got a goal against Galway 2 years ago in Salt Hill, has done the needful here. It looked to be lost there, but Carney got back on his feet, gave it to McBride, who finished off the post to make it 112 to 13 points.
Amazing
Is
stuff.
that a turning point?
Absolutely, George. Jack Carney did brilliantly after slipping to get the pass away. You mentioned the crucial goal that McBreen got in Salt Hill a couple of years ago. So unlike Michael Murphy, but to be fair to Mayo, they're getting a reward for the way that they're pressing Donegal all over the pitch. They're going man and man. It's costing them at times, but they're putting pressure on everything. We've an injury at the moment, so the game is being held up, which probably doesn't suit Mayo to continue with that momentum they have at the moment.
Well, that is a change in Paul Towie, who is a noted scorer but hasn't been used very much in Championship football, has been brought in by Stephen Rochford, and the man he has replaced is another substitute, David Neary. We saw little bits and pieces of David Neary. I don't know whether he's got an injury or not, but maybe the game just did not suit him today, and that's the position at the moment. Mayo are now, from being bottom, top of Group 1. But what's going to happen in 15 minutes' time?
It's like the last day of the league, Ger, where their result was going to either put them at the top or get them relegated. They like being in these situations. Not sure which one of the Donegal lads collided with the post as he was trying to block David McBreen's shot. So hopefully he's okay, because he went all out to try and stop it.
It's 9 minutes since Donegal have managed a score in this game. When you consider, Raymond, the bright start they made to the second half. The injured player is Brendan McCole, by the way. So I think they're just giving him a moment to get himself okay again. But this was the day that David McBride from Ballahadureen, third year playing at this level, got his second championship goal. It was Carney, deserved great credit for getting up on his feet again after he slipped. And McBreen hit it in there, off the post and into the back of the Donegal net to give them a 2-point lead.
Great flick from Aidan O'Shea as well, George. This suits Mayo now. This kind of a short kick out here, and they'll get really pressed up. We'll test Donegal to get out.
McColgan has done well. Towie's after him, pulled his jersey. Referee says, play on, you're on an advantage. And Kieran Moore goes racing forward. In try toward the 20-metre line. Moore supported here by McGee. Turning it back here, realised he was in an impossible situation and couldn't get the clean shot away. But Darrow O'Boyle fancies getting one, having a go, and it's over the bar. It's a 2-pointer by Darrow O'Boyle. The courage and the bravery of that. It came off. He had a go. Up and over the crossbar, and the teams are level for the third time in what is turning out to be an amazing game of football.
What a break from Kieran Moore to set it up in the first place. Darrow O'Boyle had the courage to take on the shot, Ger, because Donegal are brilliant at punching the hole, but they're not taking the shot afterwards. Darrow O'Boyle had the courage to do that there.
14 minutes are left. Donegal have won it in the middle of the park with Michael Langan taking it back from Kieran Moore. And now maybe just trying to get another foothold in the game again for a moment. Give themselves a little breather. Although, judging by McColgan's play here, he doesn't want any breather. He's ready to keep going again. Challenge there by Paul Towie. Turning it back there as far as Kieran Thompson. Teams have been level 3 times in this match.
Of course, the draw suits both teams, Ger. Both teams will live to fight another day if that's
Correct.
the case.
In that case, it would be Cavan who would be eliminated from the championship. And it would be Tyrone as of now who top the table. We'll have to wait and see in 30 minutes time. Here's Michael Murphy. He's not thinking about a draw, he's thinking about victory. He always does. Fans here in front of us punching the air with delight as Michael Murphy has kicked a 4th point in the game and restored Donegal's advantage yet again with 13 minutes left.
Great leadership from him, Ger. He made the mistake that led to the McBreen goal. What does he do? He steps up and kicks another one, similar to Shane Welch for Galway last night. After making a mistake, he responded and kicked that great winner at the end.
One Kilcar man is replacing another. Off goes Ryan McHugh for Donegal. On comes Patrick McBrearty. Paddy Durkin, meanwhile, is going sauntering forward here. Aidan O'Shea setting up Conal Dawson, who kicked 2 really good points already, and this one he leaves short. And that's one thing the coaches won't be happy with, because it allows Donegal immediately to get forward. Donegal on the back foot, or rather Mayo on the back foot. Donegal going forward at pace. Shane O'Donnell booting it down to Murphy. Michael Murphy holds it up well, waiting for Shane O'Donnell to come after him and take it from him. Here's Shane O'Donnell. He's got support if he needs it. It's O'Donnell. He clips it over the bar. Wise thing to do, I think. For a moment he may have been thinking about a goal. He missed one earlier on, but it was the wise course of action here now. All 6 forwards from Donegal have scored, and this now makes it 17 points to a goal and 12. 2 points the margin.
And Murphy won the ball, and when he passed it, he set a screen to open it up for Shane O'Donnell to give him the space to convert. Michael Murphy's fingerprints all over this latest Donegal burst here.
It's battling Kieran Thompson here, who wins that with ferocious determination. In as far as Michael Murphy, switches it outside as far as Kieran Moore. Can't be stopped. Moore has the ball flicked away from him, goes back and regains it, does well against Cohen, and Cohen puts it out. That's the 45, first of the match, conceded there by Stephen Cohen. Oh, it was desperation stakes at the back there from Mayo. They couldn't afford to concede any more. This is what was happening. A lot of pressure on Moore. He's done well to get something out of that.
That's great stuff, Ger. Everything is being contested. Everything is just every player is putting everything into it. But since Michael Murphy's gone back into the full forward line, he's given good shape to Donegal. Everything is coming off him. He released Kieran Moore there, and it's great use of him with the way the game is flowing at the moment. Big kick for him here now.
Just over 10 minutes still to go. Michael Murphy, man who has scored 4 points today. That's 2 goals and 26 points he scored in some 4 championship matches, now nearly 5 championship matches against Mayo down the years. Man who got a goal and 4 the day they won the All-Ireland back in 2010. We saw Colm Anthony McFadden, one of the selectors in the background. He also got 1-4 that day. But this is about the 2025 championship, and he's hit it off the post, hammers the post. McBrearty's after it, and the referee says there was a push in the back, and it's got to be a free out. Jack Coyne takes the free kick, moves it out quickly. Once again, Mayo have no time to delay. Rory Brickenden, 2 points down. Conal Dawson. Towie playing it back into the path here of Darren McHale. 3 points in the game so far for him, 6 points for Ryan O'Donoghue. But it's about what they can do over the next 9.5 minutes, trying to stay in the championship. Before this championship started, they would have been expected to be one of the 3 most definitely to come out of this group. But it hasn't panned out like that after making a wretched start and then a brilliant recovery against Tyrone. They always knew it was going to be difficult here against Donegal, and so it's proved. Darren McHale back to Aidan O'Shea, leading the charge, setting it in for Matthew Ruan. Approaching the Donegal defence in a different way, different angle maybe. Flynn again, inside, back from Dawson, back in as far as Paul Towie. Can he do the needful for them? It's Dawson who's taking it on, kicking it and kicking it to the right, and he has missed. 4th miss by Mayo.
Yeah, he got great scores earlier on, Ger. I back him to take that on. He is left-footed. The way the breeze is, it would suit him. The one with his right foot, maybe not so much. They need to get the patent kick out here again to get back up.
Some Mayo fans looking a bit dismayed at this stage. Still plenty of time. Patent kicking towards McGee, broken down, and a clash of heads, and the referee will stop it instantly. McGee and Ryan O'Donoghue collided there, and the referee quite correctly just stops the clock and makes sure that Jason McGee is okay. Man who played his club football in Donegal with Clockaneela, but now with Cordoff in Monaghan. It's a tight one for Jim McGuinness and his team of selectors. They knew it wasn't going to be easy coming here against Mayo in Dr. Hyde Park. Mayo had such a record here since losing twice back in 2001. They won 11 league and championship matches at this venue, one of their favourite venues, and drew last year with the Dubs, of course, in the championship as well. So just giving the injured player every opportunity now. Everybody was just battling for possession. This was the bright moment coming on 55 minutes for Mayo fans. It was David McBride scoring, set up by Carney, finished by the man from Ballaghaderreen. Possession was given to Mayo as a result of all of that when the referee started the game again. McHale turning it inside. Carney back. Durkin. Aidan O'Shea. Once again it's Durkin in as far as Cohen, giving it back out. Once more it was Dawson. Missed a couple, scored a couple. It's been his afternoon. And they're still a couple down. Dawson.
Donegal weren't happy initially. Jason McGee was still getting treatment when the game went ahead, Jar, but he went up as one of the three up to allow Conor O'Donnell to go back.
Well, the referee did ask him, are you okay? Checking in advance before restarting. Paul Towie switched across here. Here's the opening maybe for Paddy Durkin. And Durkin, with the umpires having a right good look at it, and they decide in the end he's missed. Oh dear.
Yeah, that's a pattern we've seen into that side.
What a catch by Michael Murphy. We saw a one-hander in the Ulster final. Well, that was two-handers, but it was brilliant. McGee now taking it.
Great kick out as well, Jar. Murphy made that break from the edge of the traditional D all the way out, and Sean Patton only had eyes for him.
Out for 2 years, Michael Murphy. Every team in the country would love to have Michael Murphy in their ranks. Here's Jason McGee. Flick back towards Murphy once more. And now Rorty. Clock ticking down now, as you can see, to the last 6 minutes. 8, nearly 9 minutes since Mayo last got a score. Brendan McCole made a marvellous block earlier on. Here comes Conor O'Donnell. Ready for the move inside. McBrearty to take it. Giving it here as far as Langan. That's going the outside. The switch to McBrearty might have worked better because McBrearty is favoured on that left-hand side and might have got a point out of that. They could have done it, done with it. Instead,
right,
it's 8 wides.
McBrearty gave Langan the eyes as he was passing out after taking the shot, so I'd say he was saying exactly what you outlined there.
Here's Matty Ruan. Brickenden pushing it ahead here. Plenty of urgency now as they go forward and try to close the gap. Jack Cardy looking to try and make this attack count for something. Missed a few chances. It's Jordan Flynn who didn't start the match but who's come on and is making his contribution. And now Jordan Flynn has kicked the point in the 66th minute, just into 66, and it's a 1-point game again.
Great pass from Darren McCain, Jar. I don't know why teams don't do it more. That bigger switch with a kick rather than hand passing across the zone the whole time. Armagh did it last night. Ryan O'Neill to Ethan Rafferty. There's another example late on as well. Another one for Murphy. What a kick
still, the goalkeeper was out completely. Oh dear. This is disaster. Oh, what a stop that is by Colm Reap. First of all, what was he doing out of his goal? And then secondly, how the heck did he recover? Watch this, it's O'Boyle, it's McBrearty. Watch the keeper coming back, and he got the toe to it. It's remarkable.
What a kick out from Sean Patton, though, Jar. I saw Murphy calling for a kick out earlier on the edge of the small D, or the D, and I was saying he's never going to kick it that far, but they know how far he can kick it. Cleared everything. Reap was out taking away a pocket, but somehow he recovered. McBrearty will be disgusted with himself. He didn't finish that. If he'd checked back inside, he was kicking it into an empty net.
They would have been I think they would have been dead and buried had that one got in. And I'm mindful that they're defending the goal down at the graveyard end.
Incredible from Colm Reap, though. He sprinted, never gave up. Great example for any any young people watching, never give up, get back, there's always a chance.
Important kick now from the 45 for Michael Murphy to nail this. Always so reliable. That's 5 for Michael Murphy. He started with a 2-pointer, then a couple of fine individuals points, and now that 45, making it 18 points to 113. Change coming up here in number 24 coming in is Owen McHugh. Off goes Shane O'Donnell. Gave it his very, very best. Covered every inch outside of the ground here in Hyde Park. Colm Reap then and his Mayo colleagues have 3 minutes in which to do something special. Fergal Boland's come on as well in place of Stephen Cohen. Up goes Matty Ruan. They need something really special here from this attack. Can they get it? Oh, that one is off the goalkeeper. A second block that time, and the referee has blown his whistle and bringing it back to the 20-metre line. They had 2 bites of the cherry, Mayo. They just can't get another goal, which they need, so vitally important.
Not sure what the free is for. Incredible chance again. Great save from Sean Patton. Fell to Jack Carney. Probably not the best finisher in the Mayo team. He hit it straight at Patton again, Ger. Not sure what happened in the follow-up.
O'Donoghue in a hurry. 6 points for him. So now that makes it 18 points to 1 goal and 14. That is 18 points to 17. This is what was happening. Watch the save here by the goalkeeper. Really good save. And a second block as well. And then the others kept in to help.
Must have been someone touched it on the ground, Ger. There's no other reason to be given a free inside there.
Has to be.
Penalty.
So now we're into the last 2 minutes and it's advantage Donegal, and Mayo may well be on the way out of the championship. Kieran Moore holding and waiting. Can they make this opportunity count? They don't want to be dispossessed. McGee holds on to it, gives it back securely to Michael Langan. Clipped into the centre here. Ready to take it on is McColgan. Murphy. 90 seconds left. McColgan again. Back here as far as McBrearty. There's Toulouse at this stage. 1 point up, Donegal. Mayo, bottom of the pile in this Group 1. Just over a minute to go before they will be eliminated from the 2025 All-Ireland Senior Football Championship. It's McColgan holding and waiting. Donegal fans cheering him on. And he has turned it over. And Murphy tries to get that ball back there from Mark Bryan. And they move it up the field.
Point will do them, Ger. Point will keep them alive.
Point would keep them alive, you're right. 1 point down, can they get it? They're going forward here. Held in there by Darren McHale. Retained well. Aidan O'Shea. Still time. Aidan O'Shea. Back it comes towards Jordan Flynn. Dodges around the challenge. Donegal don't want to give a free away. Back it goes towards Conal Dawson. Slipped inside here. There's that final effort. It's gone up into the air. And it's Fergal Boland who's got it. Fergal Boland, number 22, has levelled the match. A man who's been in and out of the championship team for a few years now, unable to retain a starting position, but he's come on, he's done the business. There's the hooter. It's level at this stage. Donegal off to play on. Kieran Moore, if they get another score, they will be the one who will be going in, and Kieran Moore has put it over the bar. Donegal have won the match. Donegal win by 19 points to 1 goal and 15. Donegal by 1 in the most dramatic of football games in this Group 1 match here in Roscommon, Dr. Hyde Park, the centre of great action. They thought they had levelled the game. They thought they were still in the championship, Mayo, but down came Kieran Moore and Donegal to snatch a winner and cruelly deprive Mayo of further participation in this year's championship.
Kieran Moore was incredible in the last quarter, the last third of the game, driving on with those powerful runs. He's some athlete. The other moves, he tended to pass it off. That time he drove for the score, got it, and as you said, heartbreak for Mayo. After Fergal Boland's equaliser, it looked like that was it. What a reaction from Donegal, what a win, what a game, what a battle.
Oh, this match had absolutely everything. Final score here in Dr. Hyde Park. It's Donegal 19 points, Mayo 1 goal in 15. What a match.
What a match, what a finish to the match. Ger and Eamon, thank you so much for that. Kieran Moore, what a man to pop up with crucial scores at crucial times. Conor McManus, this year's Ulster final, 83 minutes gone. Donegal under a bit of pressure. He came up with the crucial goal. Who saw that coming?
No, I don't think any of us seen it coming. When Mayo got the equaliser here and Fergal Boland clipped over that point, you were nearly sure that was it. Mayo had done enough, and to be fair to them, they played really, really well in that second half. They really went after it. They threw caution to the wind, and they maybe deserved a draw out of it, in fairness. But in fairness, Kieran Moore had different ideas. A serious carry. He's a massive turn of pace. We've seen it before in the Ulster Championship, and a heartbreaking way for Mayo to go out of the championship. But to have that pace, to that energy, to go at that stage of the game and kick the winner, a fantastic score.
Even just looking, Cora, at the way he kicked it.
Yeah, huge confidence in the way he kicked it. He went by Sean Morahan, who's not that very long on the pitch. The pace he had, the energy after a very 70 minutes training match was huge. But I think Mayo will look back. I think when Patton kicked the ball out, there was 7 seconds left, and all we needed to do there was either give away a foul or do something, to help get the 11 behind the ball. It was pretty naive in a way. It reminds me of last year. I think it was Dublin actually here in the Hyde when we had a kick out and we gave away, I think it was a score in the end. So yeah, heartbreak for Mayo. They did throw the caution and shackles off in the second half, and a number of goal chances there to potentially put the game away. But credit to Kieran Moore, what a finish.
To also Shay, there will be people who'll be complaining about the fact that the hooter has come in. That's the drama that we get from it. So we have the full-time whistle has also gone up in Enniskillen, and they started much later in the second half. There you can see Tyrone with a big win over Cavan, 31 points to 18. Darren McCurry looked to be on fire in that second half. So it is Tyrone, despite Kieran Moore coming up and snatching that win for Donegal, it's still Tyrone who are going to go straight through to that quarter-final. Donegal will have home advantage in a preliminary quarter-final. Cavan will be away for the preliminary quarter-final, and Mayo, they go out of the championship. The hooter, not everybody likes it, but it adds drama like that.
It was unreal. It was seconds from going. Connor was here and he was saying you have to get that kick out. They got the kick out, which meant that they had the ball until it actually went dead. And what a score to finish it. Joanne, I'd have to say I had Mayo written off at half-time. I thought they were absolutely outstanding in that second half.
You all had them written off.
We always write Mayo off. It's always the way, and they keep coming back and they keep hamstring. I was disappointed with Donegal's attacking play at times. They didn't want to kick the ball into Gallen at all. He was eventually taken off. But I suppose the one thing about Donegal was the character they showed. When the Mayo got their goal, they got a 2-pointer. They got 2 scores after it. Mayo kept coming at them, kept defending so hard. There was turnovers. Michael Murphy, outstanding game. He gave a turnover for that goal. But it was the character of Donegal that every time Mayo hit them hard and hit them really hard, Donegal had an answer. They showed great character. I think it'll stand to them. There's a couple of players that are probably not playing at their best for Donegal yet. If they could get them motoring, they'd be a real force to reckon with. But the finish, John, we don't have enough time to analyse matches. We're watching game after game. Is so exciting, but it's really tough on Mayo. You'd imagine had Mayo showed up like they did there today against Cavan, that was the game that ruined their season. That game at home, and it's not a cut down at Cavan, but that Mayo team there should be beating Cavan at home, and that's the match that'll come back to root him. But what a second half. I didn't see that coming, to be honest with you.
I don't think anybody saw that coming. In defence of Mayo, we will point out that pretty much every team has had a blip along the way, haven't they? Donegal have had a blip result against Tyrone. Tyrone have had their own blip results. If we have a little look at what happened towards the end of this, we'll try to go through all the bits and pieces of the drama. There were goal chances, there were what looked like winning scores, there were what looked like levelling scores. So we'll just take the 2 key ones towards the end, Cora.
Yeah, I just think obviously there was, Fergal Boland, I think, was the one that got it. Like Mayo held the ball really well, worked the ball around and worked it to the shooter. And Fergal is known for this. Great outside of the boot. Had to probably strike through because they were kicking against the wind. But a huge brave kick out by Patton as well. Just went over the head, and I think young Sean Moran's very inexperienced. He's just out under 20s, but Kieran Moore's drive. A block in, I think, was Jack Carney tried to get a block in, but are you there trying to create a foul somewhere outside the 45, and that you give chance for your defence to come back? But it was a brave kick out by Patton. I was here with the lads as well, and I was thinking, there's 6 seconds left. He needs to get the kick out off. He got it off, but I think Mayo should have been more prepared in terms of the kick out. Something had to be fouled there, or the kick out need to be contested. So very disappointing, but a great finish by Kieran Moore.
The funny thing was, Conor, they didn't really need to get the kick out off because Donegal were okay without it. What does it tell us?
Yeah, they were safe enough. So I suppose it was a shot to nothing, really. They could afford to take that chance, but no, it was a very brave move. And to be fair to Donegal, in the second half there was periods when it looked like it was going against them. It looked like that Mayo had got the upper hand, and the response midway through the second half was excellent. And again, after that score, they could have taken the easy option. Patton could have kicked it out over the end line, and we all move on. But no, it's a sign of what this Donegal team are about.
I want to ask you about one of Tomas's comments there about they're not kicking the ball into Uiscingallen. We saw signs in that Ulster final, particularly in the first half, that they did put Michael Murphy in there and send a few balls in there. We haven't seen a huge amount of that since then. Now, that's probably because Murphy has been playing more out the field. But why do you think they don't tend to do it when Gallen is in there?
Yeah, well, he's obviously not as proficient at winning that long ball, that ball that was kicked into Murphy in the Ulster final. Not too many people can do that. But I suspect as time goes on, we'll see a wee bit more of that. Donegal may have, obviously they'll have a game next weekend, and depending on what way the draw goes, it could be a very difficult game, or it could be a game that you would expect them to win. But either way, I would expect to see Donegal in Croke Park one way or the other, and I think you might just see a wee bit more of that kicking game as the year goes on.
Yeah, so it is Mayo who go out, Donegal along with Tyrone and Cavan who march on. We've lots more analysis to come to this game. We've also a reaction from the teams as well. We're currently hunting for the man of the match because he's been swamped out there by a load of supporters. You can probably have a little guess who it is. We've more to come.
Fota Island Resort wants to give you the chance to win a 3-night stay for you and a friend at their 5-star picturesque resort. Once there, you'll be treated to a bottle of champagne on arrival with dinner in the Cove and Fota restaurant. Plus, so you can relax and unwind, there's a luxury spa treatment each. And for the adventurous type, there's plenty of activities on site to enjoy, plus a round of golf on their championship golf course. Check it all out on fotaisland.ie, and in case you need it, there's €500 to spend too. For your chance to win, answer this question. Which one of these is the current manager of the Cork senior hurling team? Is it Pat Ryan or John Kiley? To enter, call the number on screen or text the word GAME followed by your answer and name to 57886. Maximum cost per entry is €2.50. You must be over 18 to enter. Lines will close at midday on Monday, June 16th. Full details are on rte.ie/competitions, where the lucky winner will also be revealed.
SuperValue believe in community, and community includes everyone.
23-year-old Elizabeth Plunkett heads off for a night away with friends.
It's the summer of 1976, the best summer we'd had for years.
Just hours later, she is kidnapped by 2 men in Bridis Bay.
These are 2 career criminals wanted for rape in Britain.
They are Ireland's first serial killers. While both men confess to Elizabeth's murder, no one is ever convicted. How could this happen?
We're being denied any sort of justice.
Stolen Sister. Listen on RT Radio Player and wherever you get your podcasts.
Danger, danger. The McSpicy Frank's Red Hot is back. It's the McSpicy, but hotter. With 100% chicken breast fillets, melty cheese, fiery jalapenos, and that irresistible Frank's Red Hot mayo. Danger, danger. The McSpicy Frank's Red Hot. Make it hot.
can't do Friday or Saturday because I'm busy. I do care. What if...
Are you there?
No, look. Sorry, forget it. I just can't do this. Coming, Mum. What happened?
Over 1 in 8 people provide unpaid family care, devoting their lives to caring for their loved ones. At Lidl, we support Family Carers Ireland, so every family carer knows we care back.
Time for a new pair again. Kids don't stop growing. It's costly. Save cash on Vinted with millions of deals on new again toys and clothes. Want it? Buy it on Vinted. Download the app.
Hey! I'll be back in a second. Oh, you love them.
Be sweeter than the sweetest with the new Lynx Fine Fragrance Collection.
Sonny Hayes is this rough and tumble, old school cowboy.
Be ready. Ready for what? Plant seeds for combat.
You're crazy, bro.
Take it out of my paycheck.
We don't pay you enough.
F1 the movie in cinemas June 25.
The one you need is out there. And once you see it, you wonder how you ever lived without it.
Sorry. Focus really needs to be
our focus.
Go. Go.
Some things are just meant to be.
So, you're looking for a fridge?
Currys, for the tech you love.
When it comes to a great deal, Virgin Mobile doesn't play around. Introducing our new SIM plan, price locked at €15 a month for life, with unlimited data, calls and texts, and 99% coverage. Switch today at virginmedia.ie. Virgin Media, it's playtime.
Is that the gas man?
The gas and electricity man. And we do the electricity for Emerald Park too. And you get 2 free tickets when you switch or renew at flowgas.ie. You see, the gas part about it is... The gas part of Flowgas is only part of it!
That was gas.
Actually, it was electricity.
Get 2 free tickets when you switch or renew at flowgas.ie.
AIB, proud sponsors of the All-Ireland Senior Football Championship.
Five weeks ago, Kieran Moore stood in studio next to us and told us he was 10 years old when Michael Murphy raised Sam Maguire loft back in 2012. Well, he snatched their winner 11 seconds after the final hooter went tonight to knock Mayo out. Donegal were already safely through, but now they're safely through as winners over Mayo, winning by 19 points to 115. Here are some of the key stats from this afternoon's game. Possession 43% for Mayo, 57% for Donegal. Own kickouts won. That might be an interesting one to talk about. 16 out of 21 for Donegal as opposed to 17 out of 23 for Mayo. And the reason it might be an interesting one to talk about is because the man kicking the ball out for Donegal is here beside us, Sean Patton. Sean, what has just happened?
Yeah, I suppose... quite happy. It was chaotic finish there, I suppose, just with Mayo getting the goal back towards the last 15 minutes or so. But no, just glad to get over the line, hey, and get on to next week now, and we look forward to getting the game back in Ballbofay.
So when it looked as if Mayo had got the equaliser there at the end, how keen were you to get that ball back out and to give yourselves another opportunity to score, even though you obviously knew you were already safely through?
Yeah, I suppose, it's always important to get hands on the ball from kickouts. It's obviously become a lot more difficult with the new rules and the bigger arc and stuff. A lot more balls going in the contest. So, listen, I was glad to get the ball to hand, I suppose, in that last phase of play. But as I say, getting over the line and winning the game at the end up is priority. I suppose it doesn't matter really how you do it. We're into knockout football from now on, so I suppose just grinding out results is what's going to happen over the next couple of weeks, we hope.
What did you tell us about this young man and his ability to just keep running all day?
Yeah, I suppose Kieran scored there at the end. It shows the capabilities of the young fella. And 70 minutes to be able to just put the head down and kick a score like that, it's unbelievable. He's a fantastic engine, you know, and he's just a hard-working and honest fella. So, no, I was delighted for him to get that point at the end.
From your own fitness point of view, Sean, because obviously you've been out for a little while and we saw you hobbling in, particularly in extra time at the Ulster final. So how are you?
Yeah, not good, thankfully. Good to get back out there today, I suppose. I've missed, I suppose, 5 weeks since Ulster final since I did hurt myself. But listen, I picked up a little knock, but it's well cleared up now and I'm happy to be back out there.
Just in terms of there at the end, Sean, we're up here, we can see there's 6-7 seconds left on the clock to the hooter goes. Obviously you have to get the kick out. Are you aware of the time at that stage? I know it's nearly the end, or are you aware that there's only a couple of seconds?
Yeah, I suppose, you know it's coming close to the end, but it doesn't matter if it's the last kick out or the first kick out. The priority is getting hands on ball, getting the ball to your player, which is the whole point of the game, I suppose, at the minute. And I was glad to get it away. Wasn't really worried about the time as such. It says it's supposed to be the same from the first minute as it is to the last minute, but when the ball came out, I was hoping for them to put it into the stand, but just as you say, Kieran, to put the shoe down and stick it over the bar. It was
I think Mayo fans were hoping they'd boot into the stand as well.
When you are under a little bit of pressure with your kickouts, Sean, do you look up and see, where is Michael Murphy?
I wouldn't put it like that, no. I suppose he's obviously a huge asset for us to have around the middle of the field. I know it does look like we do use him quite a bit.
It does.
And as I say, like when you have a tool like that in the middle of the field, why would you not use him, I suppose, is the better way of putting it. But as you say, we have some big men out the field there. You've Michael Langan, Jason McGee, you've Kieran Thompson and Big Hugh McFadden, all can fetch ball any day of the week. And Big Keelan McGonigal still has to come back into the play as well. So, we aren't too heavily reliant on Michael. I suppose if he's 1v1, he's a great option to have for us. But as I say, if we're under pressure, it's not just look for Michael and kick it. There's a lot more going into the kickouts than that, I suppose.
Does it annoy you when people say things like that?
Not really, no. It says we worry about our own training and our own phases of play, so I'm not too worried about what happens outside of it.
We get a little bit obsessed with kickouts, but obviously shot stopping is such an enormous part of the goalkeeping game. When Mayo were putting you under huge pressure there in that second half, they did come in and they had some goal chances.
Yeah, I suppose, as I say, sometimes it might be a wee bit overlooked in terms of the aspect of goalkeeping now, but it still is important to be able to execute saves, I suppose, and that's your whole role as a goalkeeper.
Here's a little look back at one of those. That wouldn't have been, I'd imagine, one of the more difficult ones.
No.
Sean, can I ask a question?
Yes.
You'll have 3 games in a row now. What's the biggest challenge week on week? Say in terms of analysis, terms of opposition, terms of turnaround, terms of recovery. What's the biggest challenge of the whole thing?
It's hard to know. I suppose the demand on the bodies for them men out the field, like the likes of Kieran Moore there, Keelan McColgan put up some serious miles there today, like Ryan McHugh, boys around that middle 6, I suppose, or middle 8, put up a serious amount of miles, and just keeping the body right, I suppose, and getting that side of it right is probably the most difficult part of it.
And I suppose he'll keep you to the gallon tonight. He'll keep you to the gallon tonight. He won't leave you out too long tonight.
No. Maybe about 4 or 5, and that's about the height of it, I suppose.
Getting the home game is probably the big priority coming into today's game. Had to be to make sure you're back in Ballybuffet. Even from a recovery point of view, getting ready. Obviously, the plan would be to be in Croke Park the following week and just minimising everything there.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Listen, the home game for us, it was huge there today. I suppose we look back on our last game in Ballybuffet against Tyrone, we'll be bitterly disappointed with how that turned out. And I suppose we have to just get back to the graft now over the next couple of days, get the recovery right and get set on who we're going to be drawn out against, and then just getting the foot to the wheel and just, as I say, look forward to getting back to Ballybuffet and righting the wrong from a couple of weeks ago, I suppose.
Is Croke Park a venue that really, really suits your Donegal team as well?
I suppose it does. A venue like that with some of the legs we have, I suppose Croke Park, I say no matter what age you are, if you're 5 years of age or me 29 years of age, you love getting out to Croke Park, and as I say, it's the headquarters for the game, so it's great to get opportunities to get there, but we'll not look past Ballybuffet next week, and whoever we come up against, then we're just going to have to work hard to get there.
I know you said there off here, Sean, the game was chaotic and it's probably not the way you like to play it. There was kind of turnover after turnover on both sides. I suppose, how can you get more control? It was probably a bit un-Donegal-like at times. You'd have possession, give it away. Mayo come down the field, they give it away. Was that just the quality of the opposition, or is it just a phase that you're going through particularly?
I don't really know to answer your question at the minute. The first half, I thought we controlled the game pretty well. I thought we worked the ball very, very well, and we picked most of the right shots. I know we dropped a couple short, but I think we were kicking scores from the right areas in the first half, and in the second half we had a wee bit of a wind behind us, and we just didn't seem to get into them areas as well as we did in the first half. So that's going to have to be something that we're going to have to look at. We'll probably be a wee bit disappointed with how many turnovers we had in that second half. So again, that's something we're going to have to look at. But as I say, when it comes down to chaos there on the field, anything can happen. Any team can win it. And as I say, Mayo are a strong team when it comes to chaotic football. They love putting in big hits and they love pressing high, as I say. So for us, we're going to have to look at why we were turning the ball over and hopefully figure it out then from next week on.
Well, Sean, absolutely anything did happen out there, and it was brilliant to watch. Thank you very much for coming up and joining us here in studio. Sean and all his teammates are going to be gathered around the radio tomorrow morning. It's Morning Ireland just after 8:30 when that draw for the preliminary All-Ireland quarter-finals is going to be made. In the meantime, we've managed to track down man of the match.
Michael, congratulations. You are the AIB Man of the Match. Pádraig Bonners here on behalf of AIB with your presentation. Thank you very much. Pádraig, a club man, I'm told. Not the first time you've won one of these. Great drama. You wouldn't have it any other way.
No, listen, you wouldn't. That's kind of coming to a stage now where I suppose the word kind of jeopardy comes into, I think it's the most used word in the GA dictionary over the last couple of years, and that was there today. And listen, it was always going to be a tight game. We're coming the whole way down to the middle or the bottom of Connacht, or the middle of Connacht, whatever you want to say. They're coming over the road, and listen, it was going to be a tough time. Mayo were fighting for their lives, we were fighting for our lives too, and that game went down to the absolute wire near the end. It could have went absolutely anyway, and I thought the character shown by some of our younger lads, a lot of our younger lads there today, was just phenomenal. Keelan McColgan, cornerback, Kieran Moore in that last play of the game. It's just inspirational. You get goosebumps when you hear it said, and it's just good to win. And listen, it's brilliant for the 10 minutes after the game that you won, but the nature of the championship now is we have to get the whole way back up the road, 3-hour journey plus, and get ready for next week again.
But just in terms of the value of a game like that and the value of a result like that, it really stands to you in terms of momentum.
We've been getting them games all year. The first round of Ulster against Derry, we got it there. We got it against Monaghan. We got it against Down. We certainly got it against Armagh. We got it against Tyrone. We got it last year against Cab. We've been getting them games all year, and today was absolutely no difference. And probably those games throughout the year stood to us. And going down the straight there, we were able to try and close it out and get what we needed. But as I say, them games coming down the straight, there's no point in saying it. You want to try and control it, but you can do anything but control it. You have to use your instincts and you have to use your play, and thanks be to God we got the right side of it.
But you mentioned the word character. Tomas O'Shea used it as well on the panel. Like, you learn an awful lot about the fellas that are in the dressing room and the composure and their ability to see out clutch moments in a game like that.
That's it. And listen, we had them throughout the game, from Sean Patton, using his composure to get the kickouts away. Jason McGee came in there, made a big play, took a big hit. As I mentioned, names, Keelan McColgan, Kieran Moore driving forward, Darragh Wheel coming in there off the bench was really, really good. And listen, we needed absolutely everybody there today.
Just to finish, like the group navigated, you're into knockout football at this stage. When you reflect on that performance, still quite a bit to come between the ceiling that this team is capable of and maybe one or two of the performances that we've seen.
Listen, every day you have to go out and you have to try and win, and I think the day of trying to win a game by a lot of scores or to try and control a game, I think is gone. You have to live in the moment, you have to live in the play, and you have to take it play by play. And that game, I think, was the epitome of everything was good in GAA, and right down to the very end I think the group was up for grabs, what positions and places everything was. So listen, good to win. It gets us through, and it gets us on to next week, and we have to get back and recover and all those cliches that everybody hates hearing, but that's the things we need to do.
Congratulations, thanks for coming out to us.
Cheers, thanks a million.
Michael Murphy, man of the match yet again. You've had many battles against that man, perhaps not necessarily directly, but did we see his almost his full array of skills there today?
Yeah, I think we've seen it all. In the first half, he was playing in a lot more withdrawn role, sort of sitting back as a conductor for the play. Donegal were trying to keep the ball and keep it moving, and a lot of it was going through him. In the second half, we've seen it all. We've seen him kicking scores, we've seen him getting back, we've seen him getting tackled. I think he blocked a shot here on the edge of the D in the second half. So he was just involved in everything. His link-up play, his awareness of where his teammates are at all times. Just in that example, he's slowing the play down just to allow McColgan past him and setting up a score.
That's a 2-pointer against the wind. Conor, how difficult is that?
Two-pointer against the wind. I think you only really appreciate it if you're here and you see how strong the wind is. It's the only shot that Donegal took in the first half outside the D. Everything else was worked inside the D and worked really well. But it was in the second half when Donegal really needed somebody to step up. It was him again that stepped up, and how many times have we seen this over the years? Michael Murphy just digging Donegal out of a hole. And
I think it's the simple things he done, especially in the first hand. His hands were brilliant, like just little simple hand passes, giving them off, and he commands a player. Let's remember Donegal McHugh was lined out to man mark him, and he went off with a bad enough injury. So, did that have an influence on the result in the end? I'm not too sure, but just even that 45, he missed 145 probably 5 or 6 minutes earlier, and then Donegal got another one to put them 2 points up, and he struck it. It's when a leader is really needed, Michael Murphy stands up in the big moments all the time.
Wasn't it interesting how Sean Patton said, though, it's not as straightforward as you just find Michael Murphy and away you go?
Yeah, but I'd say they worked so hard. He said it there that when the rules changed, everything changed. So they worked so hard at trying to find. But he also made a good point there that they'd have to look at in the second half how they found it difficult to get shots off. They found it difficult to get shots off because Mayo were so outstanding defensively, and how they kept that level of intensity going for the full 70, and to be there at the very, very end and to lose just like they did. It is tough. I would argue that on that form there, they're probably better than some of the teams that are left in it. But it's unfortunate it goes over the 4-group game and they'll be disappointed in previous games.
Because I think if you're looking at the table, Mayo are +3 and Cavan are -29 in terms of score difference. But obviously Cavan have the head-to-head over Mayo, and they will look back over that game in particular as a real sickener for them.
Yeah, and it has been all round a very disappointing year for Mayo. Of course, they were beaten in that Division 1 final, so narrowly beaten in the Connacht final, and now they make their exit of the championship at the group stage. And of course, along the way, they lost their manager Kevin McStay, who had to step back due to illness. So instead, on the sideline for them once again today was Stephen Rd.3.
Stephen, there was always going to be one team had to lose out here. Did you deserve more from that group over the balance of the games played?
No, I think when you play a league format, you get what you deserved. We just haven't been, we've over the course of the 3 games, the league table doesn't lie.
How do you reflect on the performance level today?
We would have been disappointed with the first half. We didn't get to the pitch of it in the way we had probably hoped. Much better in the second half, much crisper, brought the game to Donegal, but 2 good teams going at it. You were never going to get a full 70 minutes. I don't think Donegal would be happy with their full 70 minutes, but look, we would have obviously, will probably reflect back on a more consistent approach, may have given us something different.
I know people will talk about character and commitment, but to be fair to them, the heads never dropped, and I know the margins were so slim between the sides, but they died with their boots on.
Yeah, look, when it comes to that last kick out, ball breaks to us or Kieran Moore takes off, maybe it comes down to, we're then searching for a winning score. It's tight. We feel that we're competitive and we can challenge with the best teams, and Donegal are a number of teams favourites for the All-Ireland. So, it comes down to a kick of a ball.
Were you perhaps guilty, maybe overplaying the ball a little bit and scoring opportunities at times?
I think, look, when you're playing against a very compact defence that bounces from tackle to tackle, you've got to be patient. You've got to probably look to penetrate. We probably didn't penetrate as much as we wanted to. We did in the earlier part, maybe in the first score or 2, but we didn't do that enough in the first half, and we didn't get enough, probably the high percentage shots away from doing that.
It's a difficult dressing room to be in, I'd imagine.
Yeah, exited the championship. It's mid-June and we're out of the championship. It's very, very disappointing.
Too early to talk about the future or maybe the long-term consequences of today?
Yeah, well, look, Kevin McStay is still the manager of the Mayo team. I was standing in here on an interim basis. Our season comes to an end and we'll review the year as appropriate.
How do you reflect upon it overall? People will look at the experienced players and wonder, will we see them again? But a lot of young players there who've really shown themselves capable of doing this jersey justice.
Yeah, look, I mean, comes the end of the year, people always look to sort of see, is that the finality of some players? But I think everybody, going into that last minute or two, we're giving their all. And yes, there has been a number of young players that have come into it, but that's just the way that the team group sort of evolves over time. You need to bring in those new players as time goes.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Tough for Stephen Rochford, and all of us are thinking of Kevin and hoping that he is well on his way to recovery. One thing Kevin will be pleased to have seen is, after once again being dismissed at half-time, the way Mayo came out in that third quarter.
Yeah, they really came out strong in the third quarter, and I suppose the disappointing thing for Mayo when they look back at it, when they had the breeze, why they weren't doing some of these plays. But yeah, they were immense in that second half, led by kind of Jack Kearney. He started in at full forward along with Aidan O'Shea. And again, a young lad, a young player, as Stephen said, some of these will need to be, brought through. Conal Dawson, who's only his third championship game, kicked some great points in that third quarter. Probably had a couple of wides as well, but wasn't afraid to take them on. So it was a really good third quarter. I suppose, as I said, the disappointment was that we didn't do that directly out through the game. But I suppose that's Mayo down through the last decade or more. They're never beaten. They continue to fight, and Darragh McHale, has been a real plus for Mayo this year. I think he's had a very, very good championship. But, I suppose when they reflect on it overall, Mayo probably, when there's little pressure on and they throw the shackles off, they do a lot better. When things, need to be won early in the first half, they struggled.
They had that third quarter, and pretty soon after they popped up with that goal, and they did open up Donegal. And was it you who suggested at half-time that there was signs that could happen to Donegal?
Well, I think if you're Jim McGuinness and you're looking back at the game, there were times there where they caused some bother, but in the second half they caused a serious bother in terms of this is the pressure. Michael Murphy, unlike him to give a ball away like this, but this is all about David McBreen. He just ran at the heart of Donegal. Donegal were scrambling at this stage. Great touch off by Aidan O'Shea, back to McBreen again, and an absolute great goal. But they would have needed a goal at minimum. That was the one that brought him back into it. What killed Mayo after Joanne was Donegal's reaction to that. They got a 2-pointer and they got 2 other scores straight away after it to reply to it. So they show great character. Mayo asked every question of Donegal, and Donegal had the answers, but it wasn't from a lack of heart or a lack of effort. They missed a couple of scores, but they as Cora showed earlier on, the younger players that came along there, McHale, they had an excellent second half, but it was just Donegal's know-how, their little bit of experience, and that last play it was an absolute phenomenal second half, no matter what. And Mayo will feel patronised, and they contributed so much to it, but Donegal will be so happy going up the road, but they have plenty to work on as well.
Yeah, but was it the reaction of champions once that goal went in, the way Donegal immediately answered?
But champions as in Donegal or...
But they're Ulster champions.
Yeah, but I mean, I suppose the big thing for Donegal is, and for everybody around the place, we can't pick a winner. It's impossible to actually pick from here. But I do think, and we were talking about it, Conor, their application in the second half and the way they went at scoring, like, the long ball doesn't go, they work it around the edges.
Yeah, no, their movement and their interplay around the edge of that big D is excellent. And as we've seen there, a lot of it goes through Michael Murphy, but they have so many different options. Conor O'Donnell, Shane O'Donnell, Kieran Moore, men coming from deep. They're popping up with scores all over the place, and it makes them very hard to shut down because you're obviously putting attention on Paddy McBrearty or Russian Gallen or somebody inside, and there's men coming from deep. They're coming from everywhere, and they've so many different options for scores, which will make them a very, very hard to beat.
Of course, your county wasn't too far off, at only 2 points between Donegal and Monaghan, and of course, had perhaps Ryan O'Toole taken that sideline a bit quicker, it could have been even less than that. Let's have a little look at the teams then who are remaining in the All-Ireland Football Championship. So there you can see straight through to the quarterfinals, not a single provincial champion amongst them. It's Tyrone, Meath, Monaghan and Armagh. So these are the teams who are going to be drawn out at home in the preliminary quarterfinals. Donegal, Kerry, Down and Dublin, and away Cavan, Cork, Louth and Galway. So plenty of sharks, as the Ulster boys have told us, ready for tomorrow morning. We'll ask the Kerry man actually, because your team are in there, going to be at home. You fancy Galway coming down to Killarney to us?
Well, if you're one group, you're trying to get down. You're trying to avoid Donegal, Kerry and Dublin because you're going to their home places. And then the second side of it, you're trying to avoid Galway. I mean, every game is tough. I'm not writing off by any chance. It'll be very difficult if Louth have to travel away, Cavan have to travel away and Cork have to travel away to get a victory over the teams that are there. But certainly, I don't think at the start of this championship that we would have thought after winning the Ulster Championship that Donegal would be in this group, that Kerry would be in this group, or maybe Dublin either. So it's a tough one, but will there be an upset? I'm not sure. Galway will be the one that to avoid for Kerry, certainly, anyway.
For absolutely anybody, I think. 8:30 tomorrow morning on Radio 1, just after the news. Also, by the way, Tailteann semi-finals, and we've had incredible games across the entire weekend in the Tailteann Cup as well. So that draw is going to take place tomorrow afternoon. Reminder, the big upset today is that Wicklow have beaten the former champions Westmeath by a single point. Highlights on all of those games on tonight's Sunday game. What are you looking forward to? There's obviously going to be at least one huge clash in these preliminary quarterfinals.
Yeah, I suppose the big one is Galway and who they get of the four second place. You know, we're looking, would it be a Dublin, will it be a Kerry? I think, you know, Donegal, I think that's going to be the biggest draw. It's going to be very difficult for Galway. You know, they're going to be going away from home, you know, to Kerry or Dublin, like one of them teams. So yeah, that's probably the biggest thing. And you know, it's only a 7-day turnaround as well, which is very short.
Okay, so we know that Donegal are going to be. We'll get your comment in just a moment. In the meantime, we need to hear from the Donegal manager, because Jim McGuinness is currently standing by with Damien.
Jim, congratulations, big result. Result aside, what satisfied you most today?
I suppose the manner of it, the way we responded. I think every time there was a bit of adversity there, particularly to the goal, I suppose, and then at the end, you know, that they were a wee bit ruthless there and just went for the jugular and finished it off.
A lot of areas, though, that you'll probably admit yourself need to be improved upon if you're to challenge for the All-Ireland ultimately.
Yeah, but listen, you know, all these teams they're top teams. You know, Mayo, it's hard to put Mayo out of the championship, you know, and that's the reality. And they have a lot of size, a lot of quality, you know, and a lot of conditioning there, and they ask a lot of questions off you. So no, we're delighted. That was a big game and a physical game, and delighted to get through.
Was the return of scores from play a concern today, maybe lower than you would normally like it to be?
Not in these types of games. Not in these times. There's teams out there probably, you know, and they're involved in shootouts, and there's games that they're going to be very, very, very competitive. And we've seen that with the Dublin Derry game last night. You know, there's a lot on the line. Tackling becomes very important. Physicality becomes important, and it's hard to sustain that and keep the scoreboard, you know, going into the high 20s. It's you know, there's two different types of games almost that are happening at the moment. This one was very attritional, very physical and very attritional, and to come out the other side of that was very important.
To finish then, I don't know, will you agonise over the draw tomorrow, but maybe the most important thing of all is recovery, because it's been so demanding.
Yeah, listen, we're where we want to be. That's the bottom line. We're where we want to be. You know, we're playing football. They've just won a game. We play next weekend again, and we want to go and try and win that game, and we want to be in the game after that as well. And that's where we'll get a breather. And we've done that at the start of the National League. We played 5 weeks in a row. So that's not an issue. We'll focus on recovery now and get them back on the pitch during the week and see where we go.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Yeah, well done to Jim McGuinness. Conor McManus, we've time for one quick question, so I'm going to ask you this.
Make it easy.
Yeah, who are the All-Ireland champions of 2025?
I actually don't know.
Who's the best team you've seen so far?
Probably over the course of the whole championship to date, you're probably looking at, it's probably one of the Ulster finalists. It's either Armagh or Donegal. At the minute, since the Ulster final, you would probably say that Armagh have probably shaded ahead of Donegal. But I think genuinely it could be one of 6 or 8 teams still.
That would be absolutely incredible. A big thank you on this Sunday to Cora, to Conor and to Moss for their time. Make sure to join Jackie from 9:30 for highlights of all of tonight's games in the Football Championship Sunday game from 9:30. As for Football Championship 2025, we know that the Sharks are circling, but we've absolutely no idea who's going to have the last bite. Bye-bye.